Squarespace is the place to help you build the website of your dreams. No more waking up sad that you don't have a website dedicated to little dachshunds wearing sunflower hats. You can make that website right now with Squarespace. No need to worry about not having any experience building a website because Squarespace has a whole bunch of templates to make your website stand out. If you want to start selling prints and open up a store online, you can do that too. Now everyone can purchase your pictures of dachshunds wearing sunflower hats. And hey, you can also create and book appointments to Squarespace. You can have folks come by to take pictures with the long little doggies. Head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Woof woof. Thanks, Squarespace.
Ooh, yeah. It's a Tuesday morning on the Bombcast. I'm Jan Ochoa, Macho Jan, Jandy Sajan. Welcoming you to episode 789. I'm begging everyone to not make the 789 joke this whole episode. You'll get 50 podcast points if we get through it together. We will all get 50 podcast points if no one in the chat or on the show makes why is 7 afraid of 9 joke. I don't actually remember how it goes. Joining me, co-captain of the ship, the big cup of coffee in the big time himself, Jeff Grubb.
Because 789.
God damn it.
You son of a bitch.
Wow. Also in the big time, Macho Balar, Jeff Bacalar.
That's my middle name, Macho, if you weren't aware. Thanks for having me, ladies and gentlemen. Great to be here.
Jeff, how does it feel that you almost had 50 podcast points?
Felt real good. And then, just like most things in my life, slipped right through my fingers.
Hey, Bacalar, here, happy Tuesday. Here's 20.
Ooh. Fuck yeah, cashing those bad boys in.
I didn't have the sound effect prepped.
I was going to say I didn't hear the sound, so
Nope,
does it count?
It still counts.
Hold on, kid.
If a podcast
20.
point...
You heard it. You're my witness.
I didn't.
My gate is too
Yep.
aggressive. It didn't pick up
Oh,
the
and the
coin
aggressive
flip.
gates stopping the coins.
Yes.
If a podcast point falls in the forest, but there's no sound effect, does Jeff really get it?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Luce James.
Mr. Birdback,
Hey.
I just want to take a
Hi.
pregnant pause every time I introduce Lucy now, just to she is our Burt Bacharach. I actually don't know who Burt Bacharach is outside of the Austin Powers reference.
It's,
well,
what's his?
So,
It's
very
not
famous songwriter who
unusual
died.
to be loved
That's
by
Tom
anyone.
Jones.
Jones?
Yeah, that's
That's
definitely.
Tom
No. Isn't that what he sings in that movie, though? What does he sing
didn't
in
he-
that movie? Oh, wait, is that Elvis Costello I'm thinking of?
Yeah, yes.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah, that's Birdback.
They're all just weird singers. I don't really care.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I'm going to go with weird.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Bert.
Do we think Austin Powers has the power to come back super hard in the 20s here?
See, the problem
Well,
with
if he's got his mojo. He can,
Yeah, the problem with Austin Powers, I think, just like a lot of those 90s movies is that, or 2000s, whatever, they were very much like time capsules, and they would make jokes that were relevant to like pop culture in that time period. Just like Shrek. When you watch the first Shrek, it's like, even though it's about like old fairy tales, they also make a lot of like contemporary of its time jokes.
2 cinematic masterpieces, please.
Of course.
Shrek
I don't know.
and
I
Austin Powers.
rewatched. So we watched the new Puss in Boots movie recently, which is incredible.
Mwah.
But then we watched Shrek 2 because my friend Jen had never seen it, and that one doesn't hold up so well. But maybe it's just because my online brain means that I'm just so used to the memes.
Right.
But I see what you mean about like all of the Shrek stuff. Like, because there was a what'd you call him? There was Simon Cowell, American
Oh, right.
Idol jokes in there. There
no.
are All the stores are kind of named after like famous stores that were big in the early aughts that most of them have shut down now. And when you go to Far, Far Away, I don't know. Also, the soundtrack is, I mean, you got Counting Crows on there, so
it's a weird
accounting for
soundtrack.
taste. It's a
Weird soundtrack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of Austin Powers, though, I always remember that they were going to make a fourth one, and it was going to be called For Your Thighs Only.
Well, I mean, this is
Would've
a
been
prime
good.
market
Would've been
here.
good.
You know, like we
Yeah.
got a lot of meat on this podcast.
Well, I think they should bring that back. I would
Big
enjoy
thighs
that.
save lives.
Amen,
Yeah.
sister. Speaking about movies, before we get to any video games, I think I've been on record of saying that I believe, and this is me saying this, I think Fast 9 is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. But Lucy James, you saw the next entry into the Fast series. There's controversy at the beginning here. Are we calling it Fast X or Fast 10? Because I'm
Fast 10 your seatbelts.
There we go. Amen, brother.
Jesus.
I didn't make that up. I'm just
That was the
parroting
marketing.
what I saw online.
That
Yeah, it's
physically
marketing.
moved my body away from the microphone.
I saw it.
Whew.
How was it? On like a wow scale.
Okay. Right. So I am British and I fully believe in the sanctity of the cinema going experience. I am quiet.
Why is that
I don't
British?
have loud I don't have loud snacks. I don't applause. I don't even laugh audibly.
Oh.
In that movie, I barked with laughter. I burst into spontaneous applause multiple times.
Get this girl a
At
green
one
card.
point- and at one point, I just yelled, "Shut up!" Like in a good way.
Did you yell, "He's
It's-
behind you"? Because then you're an
was-
American.
Yeah.
I almost did. It's so dumb. Like, and it's earnest,
Okay.
and it's ridiculous, and it's bombastic, and I had the best time.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
I
Wow.
like. There were some points where I was just
Ugh.
going like,
you know,
"It's so stupid. It's so stupid." And honestly, like, if ever I write something that I'm not sure about, literally just released a comic book, and I was going over that in my head so much. I was like, "What if it's shit? What if people hate it?" Right? There are some lines in that movie where I will never doubt my ability as a writer ever again. It is.
Turns out it doesn't matter.
yes.
Turns out
Of
it
course.
doesn't matter. Turns out
Yes.
you can be successful and barely string a sentence together.
Have you
also, there's
seen-
a great point.
I was just
where-
gonna say, have you
'cause
seen Ted Lasso? Clearly, anyone is allowed to be famous and write stuff. It's
I
there's
love
no rules.
Season 1 of Ted Lasso. What?
Yeah, I
I
believe
haven't
but
it's
seen
they're
season
on
one,
two.
which
season
is really
three.
good.
But
I
they're
haven't
on
seen
season
two.
3 now, and it's
Yeah,
much
well,
different.
Is it not
I
as
watched
good?
it.
That's a shame.
It's
But no.
stupid, but yeah.
Wow.
Vin Diesel can't say the word father, and he has to say it a lot.
What does he
So he kind of
say
feels like-
instead of father?
My father.
Wait,
Father.
Wait, what?
So-
You just say
Yeah,
I am
if-
Groot?
if
What?
you go- No, every time you go back and you watch him and he's talking about his dad or like him being in a fathership kind of role, he says, "My father." And genuinely, when you notice that and you go back and watch it, you're like, "Oh yeah." And he says it a lot in this one. So it's great.
Oh,
Wow.
man.
Anyway, so I had the best time. There was a music drop in there that I was so glad about.
They also did I Need a
Jason-
Hero.
No, better. And then Jason Momoa, not to completely compare him to Johnny Depp, but you know how Johnny Depp was kind of like a semi-serious actor, and then he was Jack Sparrow, and he just let loose and was completely
Sure.
wild with it.
Sure.
This is Jason Momoa doing that.
Oh,
fine.
That's
Like,
cool. I want to see
yeah.
him let his hair down.
He lets loose. Charlize Theron, oh my god,
She's in that? She's in
Done
yeah.
it.
Oh,
She's
she's a
been in a
big
few
part of
minutes,
the.
right?
joking? She's one of
She's
the-
integral
she's
to the Fast
She
family
is
as
the
an
best.
antagonist.
Okay.
In the Furious.
Yeah.
Little known
She's-
secret. Never seen a Fast movie.
Oh my
Bro.
god, back a
Oh,
little.
you do
Bro.
that. You're drinking your IPAs and
Maybe.
Oh,
Well, you don't want to
Playing
drink it.
with
I
your
think what other
pinball
fancy stuff you do.
machines.
I
Give me a
thought we
second.
were a family here. Huh?
Yeah.
What are there 10? There's 10 now? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I've seen like
Yeah, and then there's Hobbs and Shaw.
Tokyo's the Tokyo Drifting
Drift?
one. Yeah, I think I've seen
That's
that
my
one.
least favorite one, but
I couldn't.
It's
recall.
But-
crucial, though.
Best
it's important.
song.
it's crucial. Best song and Han, and I love Han. So.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
yeah. Also,
Absolutely.
it has the best stinger in all of them, when like Bandolero starts playing, and then you see Toretto. Oh my god!
Oh.
The best stinger is on the Nintendo World Travelogue, please. That's the best stinger in anything ever.
Yes. We'll get to that very shortly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hulk car as well. As Groove Mensa brings up the Hulk car in.
He continued Bow Wow's historic Hollywood career. He went from Like Mike,
his rise to fame,
to Too Fast, Too Furious, to Tokyo Drift, to Fast 9. There you go.
Yeah, Lil Bow Wow, represent.
Is it something about the cars that disturbs you, Bacalar, that you don't like?
No, I love cars. You know I love cars. You know I love to go fast.
Is it the furious part then that you're upset
it's
with?
the furious. I just can't get on board with.
Furious.
No, I don't know. Look, sometimes you just miss things. I missed Breaking Bad, and it just didn't. Breaking Bad and our paths didn't cross. You know, like
I started watching Breaking Bad recently, and it's good. It holds up, man.
I'm sure it does.
And it is as good as people say. Annoyingly,
I just kept, living my life, moving forward. I'm not above them by any stretch. I'm just here to tell you, it never made its way in front of my eyes. For whatever reason.
What if in Fast 10-2, because I don't think they're going to call it 11, they're just going to call it 10-2. Toretto's
like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's go to the 13 trilogy.
I thought they were done.
No.
They're doing the last movie's a trilogy. I think
it's 3-parter.
Jesus fucking Christ!
What if Toretto's like, all right, Lenny, we gotta stop running.
Wait, Sylvester Stallone's in this? What is that?
Yes, he's also in it. And then he's like, all right, we gotta cool off. And then he pulls out like a hockey stick from his trunk. And then the whole movie's about hockey.
You know, listen. I've not seen a Fast and Furious movie that I can remember, but I do enjoy their trailers very much. I think seeing the trailer, quite frankly, is like all I really need. But I'll watch like a couple if you want me to.
You know, just go put on Fast 5.
Fast 5 is the turning point, man.
Yes.
Fast 5 is when you're like, holy shit, these are incredible.
Wait, is that where The Rock breaks out of the cast, or is that 6?
I think that's 6, because 5 he's like introduced 6. Into the cast
right.
in 5.
Yeah, 5
right?
he's the super cop. Oh, yes. Okay. Thank you, Marino. Marino, fast aficionado and historian. Or it's 7? Oh, okay. Well, you know what? It's still a great moment.
It's an arc that happens over 6 and 7. Yeah.
2 is the worst one, but it has the best line,
Ejecto
which is when they go into
cuz?
No. When they go into the nightclub and he says, "Oh, it's a oasis in here."
Okay, that is pretty good.
So,
can we put that on a shirt? Can we put that on a shirt?
It's I think we can.
That's ours now.
Let's give that away at Summer Game Fest. Like, hey,
that was a different time, man. That's when we had the Ho trains and Hoases everywhere.
It's a fun story related to Too Fast, Too Furious and Ejectocito, cuz the show that I worked on when they did the searching for a new set of hosts, that was one of the myths that they were trying to prove or bust.
About a Hoasis.
Sure, you could say bust. Just say bust.
Bust the Hoasis.
Busting the Hoasis. Oh, man, don't put that on the dock, folks. Don't put that on the dock. We showed the contestants the scene where Tyrese goes, "Ejectocito, cuz," and then he laughs. And then the contestants proceeded to make jokes based off of that joke. And then we got word that, hey, we didn't get this cleared, so any reference to this being related to the Fast series, get it out of there.
Oh,
Cut it out.
We don't have any such qualms here.
Exactly.
We'll just start selling shirts that say that. We don't care.
Yeah, it's the news show.
NBC Universal Group.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly. Come on.
All right, I guess we should talk about video games.
Wait.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize what you were doing.
There was a but.
I jumped the gun.
I pumped the brakes. If you watched all the Fast movies, you know that this is like the swerve that we got to make.
I dove into the pool before the gun went off.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You just got ejectocitoed, cuz. You're not with us in the Oasis right now. Jeff Bacalar, before we get to video games, I understand that we're not going to cut these corners because these corners are sharp because of cards. No, almost had it. Almost had it.
Okay, now You are allowed another.
I'll back it up. I'll back it up.
In reverse. There you go.
Thank you.
We're going from cars to cards.
That's honestly somehow better. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed our unboxing last week on UPF, our friends over at Dave and Adams are teaming up. We're gonna be giving away a box of the Star Wars Galaxy 2022 set. So please pop into our Discord if you're not already there. It's discord.gg/giantbomb and go into the giveaways channel where we are going to be giving away a box of cards for free. That's how you win. Please go over to Discord and get your chance to win a box of cards. And we also have, thanks to our friends at Dave and Adams, that coupon code for 10% off up to $1,000 order. Their website is dacardworld.com. The code is GBOMB10. Use that at checkout. We will tweet this information out in just a few minutes if you want to go back and get direct links to all this stuff. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Dave and Adams.
I watched a TikTok where people were throwing playing cards into like walls and stuff.
I don't like that.
No. I'm big into that on TikTok with trick shots.
Yes, and like I'm like those Dave and Adams, those thick cards could truly murder somebody. Could truly just end somebody's life.
But you couldn't. I don't think you could throw. Okay, let me back this up.
We've literally just watched a JoJo where he does that.
Okay. Lucy.
It's the science. It's complete right there.
Lucy
the
just watched.
JoJo did it.
Yeah, Lucy just watched Fast 10. She doesn't have to obey the laws of physics for a good 2-3 days.
She's in the butter zone for a while where nothing applies to her.
It's not like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is any kind of like documentary of like what life.
How I understand it.
Is like.
That's what I want to believe.
So we're talking.
Did you watch Eurovision at the weekend? It exists, okay.
But do you think you could actually kill someone
with like a regular playing card?
Playing card?
Yeah. The way that these guys throwing it, you could probably seriously.
I'm Googling.
I think that
Can you kill someone?
I don't know. Maybe you could. Maybe it's like one of those freak like 1 in a million shots where you somehow
the way these guys
pierce
throw it,
the
they are throwing it, and it is piercing like drywall. And drywall, like human skin and drywall.
There's a Mythbusters on it.
Oh yeah, here we go.
If it, what happened?
Even with a
television
machine,
show.
How'd it go?
Even with a machine that could throw cards harder than any human, they could barely draw blood.
Well, that's before I joined the show, you know?
And that's before Gambit was introduced to the fold.
Right.
But also, you can kill a man with a playing card with a paper cut. Maybe kill him with a flesh-eating bacteria infection. Okay.
That's less realistic, but...
Yeah. I don't know.
There's nothing more realistic than flesh-eating bacteria.
I know.
I think about them all the time.
Field of Dreams it.
I think...
Build it, they will come. If you throw it, they will die.
You know, it's very intimidating when you see one of these freaks throw one at a pumpkin and it sticks inside the pumpkin. Yeah. You're like, oh, what if that was my skull? But
that's exactly how I sound.
Your skull is harder than a pumpkin.
Yeah,
that's true.
You know? So look, I'm just here to give facts. We're referencing JoJo's like it's some sort of fucking college course in biology.
That Mythbusters was also pre-JoJo, so...
That's true. That's true. Oh, man. All right. I got nothing else, Jan. There you go. Go win some cards.
Got nothing in the tank.
Don't do this with the Star Wars cards. They're nice and shiny, okay?
Yeah.
Don't be throwing them at like arteries and shit. Okay? And you might draw an autographed one by this freak. Okay.
The mayor.
Don't forget. Don't forget.
The mayor from Mandalorian.
The mayor. This is the mayor's autograph, I'll have you know. I can get a permit for anywhere in this galaxy. Okay.
Right. The Book of Boba Fett. I enjoyed parts of that show.
I didn't watch it.
I regret watching it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Something about Lord of the Rings. Lucy, would you trust? How familiar with the Star Wars universe are you?
That feels like a trap.
It is. It's a trap. Sorry.
I did go and see. I did go and see Return of the Jedi in theaters a couple weeks ago, but was drunk. So
would you trust a group of perhaps 4 Ewoks to carry the One Ring to destroy it or whatever they have to do?
Ewoks are the worst bit of Return of the Jedi.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, that's super racist.
All
what
right.
you
That
said is
was the
well,
point where I
the
went
views
and
of
got
Lucy
mac and
James-
cheese balls.
Oh, sorry.
And I came back and it was like 20 minutes, and that was like, I didn't really miss much.
Lucy, I thought we were friends. I feel like we've bonded
We are
over
friends.
the years.
What's the difference between an Ewok and a Hobbit?
How fucking dare you? Okay. Hobbits are
Ewoks are like more cute. For sure.
Definitely. Yes.
Hobbits are actually disgusting. Let that be
about?
known. Yeah.
Why are they
Wow,
disgusting?
That's racist too.
Okay.
The hair
feet
is
are
just on their
fucked
feet
up.
and their heads.
Yeah.
This is
their
hate
feet-
speech now.
Their feet.
Okay,
their feet are
Mr.
gross.
5 stars on Wiki Feet, what do your feet look like?
I don't know what that
This
means.
is
I don't know what any
reminding
that
me of
means.
repressed trauma from high school, where my friend Angela said I had Hobbit feet. Moving on to video
Wait.
games.
What size shoe are you wearing, Jan?
I got a 10.5.
I think
Oh, that's not
I think
Hobbit.
it's regards to the fur probably on the tops.
Yeah, the
I got
the
that
thing
too. Who
about
doesn't?
Hobbit feet is that they have fluff on them. They got hair on them, and
Yeah,
they're
that's
kind of
where most of my
hardy because
body
they
hair
don't
is.
wear shoes. They're like the proto toe shoe people.
Yes, Mike, when I see you at Summer Game Fest, we'll share Crocs. Games.
Please
Mike, you come in.
don't do that. That's unsanitary.
Oh, cool. This monitor keeps dying.
Blech.
All right. Video games. Folks, I think it's pretty apparent what the game and the game of the week would be.
Humanity.
I gotta play that.
I was
that.
going to ask, has anyone been playing anything else besides what is listed as the
People seem to like that humanity, Lucy.
Yeah.
What's the deal? Can I play that and have fun?
You can, and you can, Jeff. I don't know why I said that like an infomercial. No, it's great, and it's on PS Plus today. You should go buy it, download it if you enjoy a puzzle game with some chill vibes, chill beats. That's basically Lemmings, but without the stress, because in Lemmings how you have a certain amount of lemmings and you have to save a certain number of them.
Mhm.
This one, it's just endless. An endless string of people, and you have to make a path for them to get from one end of the level to the other. But if they fall off a cliff or something, they just come right back out. So you can experiment and do stuff.
Wait.
And also, selling point, you're a dog.
Oh, that's
You're the
so
Shiba,
nice.
like a ghostly
You're a
Shiba
little
Inu,
Shiba-
right?
Wait. So
You're
the
a Shiba
people,
Inu.
the people aren't dying.
Well, it's kind of you're leading
they
them
might
into the
already be
light.
dead.
It's kind of
Isn't
inferred
it
that they're sort
funny?
of already a little bit dead.
Isn't it funny
But it
that
means
when
that you don't waste them.
Becca, are you about to sing Mad World? Is it a little bit funny? A little bit sad.
It's kind of
the sad
sad.
bastard version of
Yeah.
Mad World. No, I find it kind of no. Listen, isn't it amazing that when Lemmings came out, everyone's like, these dumb motherfuckers, they'll just do whatever.
These lemmings.
These lemmings, and now it's so much more contextually appropriate that it's human beings that are doing the lemming version.
We
of
were the
this
lemmings
game.
the whole time.
We were lemmings.
yeah.
This is just like if a Costco emptied out and everyone was like, "Go over there." That's how I'm going to be playing this video game.
I
And
would
that's how I'll
follow
be
a
enjoying it.
dog
Great.
in the afterlife,
That's true.
I guess
Especially if it
you're-
was glowing white. Like I would assume that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just follow the dog. And there's also someone asked if there are any stakes. Yes. So there were a few giant people in the level called Goldies. And if they
Nuts.
fall off, you lose them. But if you get them, you get like you have to collect them. Basically, they're like the stars of the level. You can complete a level without collecting the Goldies, but if you get them, then you kind of like unlock other stuff. It's great. There's a level editor. It's in PSVR 2. Not that I've played PSVR 2 because I get incredibly motion sick. But music is super chill. It's going to be on Spotify because I asked the Twitter account because I really want it. And no, it's great, and it's on PS Plus. So if you have that, then
How complicated does it get? How? Because I'm like,
Oh.
I'm like wondering, like, is this going to be the kind of thing where it's like it feels like more like a toy, or am I going to be like super challenged and stuff?
you will be challenged.
Okay.
I think it has a really good on ramp. I think it starts off very, very simple, but it does that thing where I felt like an absolute genius getting some of the Goldies.
Hell yeah.
And I don't deserve that because I'm really not a genius at all.
Oh, don't sell
So-
yourself short. Come on.
Well, I'm not. My grammar is terrible.
Yeah, but this is like a Lemmings game.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, in the context of a Lemmings game, no, I'm a genius.
Yes.
My spatial reasoning is off the fucking chain.
Yeah, they teach it in school in England, right?
Yeah.
Lemmings. There's a Lemmings course there, I'm sure.
Grade 4 is just
Yeah.
Lemmings training.
Well, was it DMA Design who did
DMX?
Lemmings?
Yeah, I always want to be like, is that Rockstar? Was Rockstar in like the Lemmings people at some
It's
point?
the
That sounds
prequel to
right.
GTA. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. Lemmings Vice City. I played Lemmings Paintball when I was a kid, which is
What?
yeah, I had Lemmings Paintball.
What is that?
Lemmings, I mean, I just never really interacted with
Paintball
Lemmings, really. I just they mostly just passed me by. So I never saw anything called Lemmings Paintball. Is that's a video game called Lemmings Paintball?
Yeah, Lemmings. I mean, now I'm checking that didn't. Yeah,
I always
there
got
it is.
Lemmings
Lemmings
and
Paintball is an action. Oh, it's 1996, made by Visual Science and published by Psygnosis.
oh
Oh, wow. Signosis? Okay.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say that I always get Lemmings and Worms confused.
Sure.
Well, they're cut from the same cloth, aren't they?
Yeah,
Like,
PC.
Wait,
weird
like
characters.
Worms Armageddon?
yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
I mean, if you look at a lemming, it looks like a worm with legs and arms.
They're just little men.
They're
Just
little-
innocent men.
Innocent men.
They're little
Wait a
assholes. I don't-
second.
I don't like lemmings. I'm glad when
Lemmings
they
are
die.
just like little fucking rodents.
They're little
They're not
dudes with fun
worm-like-
hair.
Yeah, in real life, but not in the game. They look
In the
like
game, they're like
trolls.
green faced nerds.
They're just green men.
no, green hair. They
Green
look
hair.
more like an Oompa Loompa. Like they're kind of
Oh, that's
orangey
right.
with green hair.
All right, yeah, you're right. Now it's coming back to me. They look like little turnips. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, humanity
Turnips or
looks way better.
turnips?
Both.
Fantastic.
Oh, and I forgot the opening video for Lemmings Paintball was like stop motion claymation.
Oh,
that's
disgusting.
cool.
Oh,
Disgusting.
Yeah, what a time.
can I ask one last thing about humanity? Do you think it would be improved by PSVR 2 at all, or is it like does it play just fine with a controller and a TV?
I mean, plays great with a control. I mean, not that I have a vendetta against VR. I just literally can't play it. So
That's not the word on the street. I heard you hate VR and wanted to die.
Oh, yeah, against Oculus from the beginning, from the ground floor. No, I mean, it might be fun for the well, I don't know, because I did play Tetris Effect in VR, and that's vibes based, that's
And it's
the
the
music
same
is
company.
going, it's
Yeah.
cool, same company. So maybe, but also I wouldn't. I can't. I
Yeah.
won't.
No, that's
I
fair.
refuse.
Dan, I think I don't know. Did I mention this? Dan's playing it in VR. He mentioned that he's having a pretty good time with it.
Lemmings?
So
Humanity.
Lemmings
probably
Paintball.
that. Probably Lemons at PSVR 2.
Blessing was saying he tried it in VR and he was also enjoying it too.
Okay, cool. Good to know. It's kind of like even though they made PSVR 2 more, made it easier to set up. The idea of like putting it away for a couple of weeks and then here's
did all
one
that.
game that might be better with it, but you could play it without it. I could very easily see myself being like, I'm just not going to get it back out, even though it's one plug now.
Oh, I mean, my Beat Saber machine is in a box down there where it has been for the last 8 months.
Yeah,
Sadly.
we just got the Oculus Quest out the other day because the kids wanted to play around with it. So I got them charged up, and they were completely dead. So it took a long time to charge them.
I'm not
I got a
I'm not
question.
gonna lie.
Please.
Yeah. Well, don't lie first. Let me hear it.
Oh, I was gonna say, I downloaded Dragula on Beat Saber.
The Rob
Hell
Zombie
yes.
song?
That is the best Beat Saber song.
Hell yes. It's
Of
the
all
best video
time.
game song of all time. Yes.
It's unbelievable.
Digging through the ditches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burning
through the witches.
Yeah,
Witches,
yeah. Slamming the back of my Dragula.
Is VR bad for children?
You think it messes up their?
Does it melt their
they-
fragile
little
little
eyes.
brains?
What if it makes them stronger?
Yeah.
I don't see that being a byproduct of VR.
They can see in 4 dimensions.
I think like anything, it could probably be bad. I don't think it's like somehow going to actually actively harm children or something like that. It's
Yeah.
I mean, if any sort of prolonged use, maybe it could hurt their eyes or whatever. For my kid, she doesn't have stereoscopic 3D, and so it's like I always want to see like maybe using something like this or using the 3DS can sort of maybe have that click into place. That's something that could still happen for her.
Huh.
So we mess around with it. It's occasionally something we like let her do, but they just they don't do any of the video games. They do like the YouTube, the 180 videos and the 360 videos on YouTube. We do those and like they do roller coasters or going in outer space and stuff. So
Oh, that's cool.
it was our field trips during the pandemic is when we first started doing that. They enjoyed it.
Nice.
Hmm. I forgot to bring this up at the tippity-toppity of the show. I just want to say a couple quick sentences. I watched Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Absolutely wrecked me, destroyed me.
Man.
It's emotional.
Very emotional. Gotta give one up to Chris Pratt.
Who?
He did a scene, and I was like, wow, good for you, Chris. Good for you. Also, hey, reminder, that Guardians of the Galaxy video game, pretty.
Hell yes, it is.
Pretty.
Hell yes, it is.
Pretty good.
Love that game.
Everyone, literally the entire planet came around on that game.
Yes.
Yes. You're welcome, everyone.
Because of Jan.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Jan. I remember Rory. Do you remember that quick look, dude? Rory was putting us in a situation where we were just like, oh, God. His opinion is so much different than mine. It makes me feel weird and unsafe.
It's putting me in a situation.
What's happening?
The Rory situation is always
Oh my
fun.
God.
I have a question about
Please.
video games, and maybe
Okay.
perhaps
All right.
all the 15 chats we're currently involved in could help out. Is anyone playing Redfall? Is anyone still playing Redfall?
I don't know her.
Oh, still playing it? No, absolutely not.
I'm not
anyone-
insane.
Anyone.
I needed hard drive space over the weekend, so I deleted
Well,
it.
I mean, that's the first to go, is it not? Literally, I'm getting people saying who? People are saying no, absolutely not.
I mean, there wasn't much there to begin with, and now there are so many other video games, including the biggest game of the year.
Humanity.
Even if you like the game, Humanity, that's right. Even if you like Redfall, you're probably already burnt through what's there. I gotta imagine. I mean, maybe you're going back with your friends if you are one of those freaks, but there's just not any reason to keep going there.
I was just curious. It's not me trying to like twist the knife a little deeper. I'm just curious. I'm an innocent man.
Yeah, I think it's a game I think it's completely fair to keep talking about this game in these terms. We are not being mean to the video game. We are just sort of this is what this game is, and it's going to be its fate until they do something else with it or move on to something else.
Fair enough.
It really is the fate of the furious, huh?
Can I hold up my computer now, Jan?
I mean, should we talk about that dealio yet?
No, I just want to. It's
hey,
just here.
show-
It's
show-
just
Just
show.
arrived?
I
Hey,
wanna
show
see what
show
you're
and tech.
hiding.
Show and tech. The
what do you
show
got?
that I
Wait, you're also
pitched
gonna lift
months
it
ago.
up?
Wait,
Well,
what?
yeah, it's easy.
Oh my God.
Look at
Oh my God! Look at that beefy
Look at that
boy.
4090.
Look
I'm
at
serious. It is a slab of beef. That's a real man's graphics card right there.
Oh, you dirty dog.
Oh man, you could sous vide a filet mignon in that boy.
You absolutely. You don't need a space heater. I got this thing now.
Yo.
Very excited. This is my new work computer, everybody.
That's gonna be my carry-on luggage for Summer Game
Yeah,
Fest.
I'm just
we're
excited
all
for
getting one.
Jan getting a new.
I know,
Mom.
right? That was like the whole impetus behind this. So it's like
Yeah.
everyone's getting one. Yeah.
There we go.
So I'm going to be setting that up tonight. Looking forward to it.
Oh
Mazel,
man,
mazel.
I got.
I'm refreshing my UPS page because the last time I had a PC delivered, they just left it in the street.
That is
So-
so insane. That's so
Based
insane.
off of where you live too, it could easily roll down some streets.
Yeah, but also like San Francisco, not a great place to leave packages outside, especially not one that says like PC on the side. So I'm here furiously refreshing.
Fast and Furiously refreshing. God, that just reminds me. Alex Boniello, if you're listening, please convince Vin Diesel to turn Fast and Furious into a musical at some point. If anyone can
Wait,
do
does
it,
he have a direct line?
Yeah, they go to the meeting together. The famous people meeting.
well, okay. Alex is now in the
Illuminati?
Disney universe because he's going to be in a
True.
Descendants movie.
True.
Vin Diesel is in Marvel, which is owned by Disney. So there we go. He's Groot. Alex is in Disney.
Wait,
Yeah, it's
he's
like
gonna be in Descendants? I missed
Yes,
this.
he's the Jack of Spades.
Dude, my nieces made me watch Descendants 3 when I went back.
And wasn't it sick as hell, right?
Isn't it dope?
It was pretty cool.
It's so cool because it's like the
Hey.
bad guys and gals can
Well-
have kids too. Isn't
and it's
that
also,
crazy?
I mean, I was watching it and I was like, oh, yo, this is just Disney High School Musical. And then it's made by the guy who made High School Musical.
Yep.
Big brain
It-
thinking, baby.
it's
Open
so
your third
sick.
eye.
Yep.
Open your third eye. Let the music wave in. Before we get to the game of the week, and we keep putting it off. You know what? Let's just get to it. Game of the week: Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. It's a good game, huh?
I love it. I'm curious. I want to hear what everyone else is thinking because I think I was always destined to love this game. Although I'll say that Breath of the Wild is definitely still more of a Jeff game, but this one is just so exquisitely made that that's not really an issue. I'm like coming to it on this game's terms. I'm never gonna get over starting Breath of the Wild, getting through the tutorial, and then you get that mission quest, defeat Calamity Ganon. And it's like, all right, go figure that out. And that to me is just such a power play, such a cool move. I'm never gonna nothing's ever gonna really match that for me in gaming, I don't think. So Tears of the Kingdom come in and be like, we're not even gonna try to replicate that. We are going to shimmy things around and do something a little bit different this time. And we're gonna do it kind of where there's just everything in this game. I got a list of stuff, but like I said, I'm curious to hear what everyone else is thinking first. Is everyone else enjoying it as much as me?
Yeah, I really wish you guys. This was the first time where I was like, man, I said I was never gonna do this, but should I just be streaming this like with my kid, like just doing voiceover? That's it.
Yeah.
Just like his reactions.
Maybe get a puppet or something.
Hey.
Oh, VTuber.
Hey, look. You joke. His reactions have been so like I'm getting almost like as much out of his reactions to like that first part where you just have to like jump off a cliff.
I love those moments.
He's like, "What are you doing, Dad?
You can't do that. That's not allowed."
What? And just like figuring shit out and like how smart he feels. You know, it's a proof that like it plays for anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like it makes him feel so productive and kind of like.
I love you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, look at the reaction online. That's exactly what's happening.
Yeah,
everyone is appreciating it. I don't. What is it that the game is doing that is so instantly recognizable to everybody? Of like, this is fun.
I think what it's doing is it's got the core, Zelda mechanics, which is like an incredibly deep, multi-layered action RPG, right? Underneath action adventure RPG, underneath all that, and then it's padded with like an incredibly powerful and completely open-ended build system. Like that's the thing. You have two incredibly compelling mechanics that were like where most games are sort of be like, we have to cheap out on this part of the thing, or we got to cheap out on this part of it. And it's like, no, across the board, everything's amazing. Literally everything's going to be amazing. The only thing that I will dock points on, and I have to bring this up because I think it's important that we just sort of talk about this and how the fact that like, could you imagine this game is running at 60 frames a second? Like, could you imagine? All right. Yeah. And like, I think it's look, we know what's going to happen.
To do that. Right. Yeah.
Right. We know what's going to happen. Mike said it. You said it. They're going to re-release this game at some point. It's going to be like perfect.
Yep.
But the performance of this game, especially in those heavier build events where you're just sort of like, it chugs along, and your brain does this like glossing over thing where it's just like, I'm ignoring that. I'm ignoring all that. I'm just going to play this thing.
Well, I think the game knows where we fill in the gaps really well with our imagination, and it's, handing something to another character. They're not going to actually animate that. That's a waste of time, and I don't want to waste my time. Picking stuff off the ground, it just magically zooms into your pocket. Of course, I don't want to stop and watch him pick that stuff up. I can my brain is already imagining that for me. So let's just move on really quickly. And I think the 30 frames per second is part of that a little bit, where it was never going to get to 60. So they just made a game that mostly runs pretty good. Obviously, there's still issues with Ultra Hand and stuff like that, but it is not like the early days of Breath of the Wild. This is I'm just going to say the acceptable Nintendo level of slowdown where it's not affecting gameplay.
Right.
Nintendo does occasionally have games that have these performance issues. When it happens in one of their big games, they seem to find a way to make sure, it's happening. We're going to make sure we're going to do everything it takes to make sure it doesn't actually get in the way of you enjoying the experience. And I think they accomplished that here because it's just not gotten in the way at all.
A relatively invisible blip on the radar, right? But like I said, the heightened moments of discovery, like, my kid plays a lot of Roblox, right? It's no surprise. Sure. And all the time I'm just like, your dumb baby game is so stupid, right? And he knows it. He knows it too. He's like, I know I'm playing trash, Dad. I love swimming in sewage. That's it. He's like,
A
I love
little
swimming in the
raccoon.
sewage. I'm just a raccoon dumpster baby. That's what I am, right? And then he plays a game like this, and he's just like, fuck, I've been wasting 2 years of my life, that kind of thing.
Throws his cigarette away, kicks the
He's just
dirt.
like, I got a lot of poor life decisions I gotta
Tomorrow's gonna be a
relitigate.
new day for old Dylan.
But it's just so sick to see how excited he is to play this, where he's like now, and the only thing, it's bittersweet, right? Because I would love to be playing a lot more of this game. We're only about like maybe 8 hours, and we have to schedule it together, and that's the only thing. Is like, he's like, you better not go to that shrine we saw. You're not. I'm gonna know if you played. And I'm like, oh, okay, I won't.
That's
and we have
cool, though. I know you want to play more, but
Totally.
I think you kind of bring in that perspective for the next couple of weeks of like how he feels, how things change as you guys discover more mechanics, and like where you guys take the narrative of like how the stories you're telling about the character. I'm like very excited to hear that, because I'm kind of having a childlike experience with this game where I'm just every little thing I'm coming across, I'm like, okay, what's this? Can that work? And a lot of it is the game knowing that it has a bunch of different mechanics that actually do function properly. I just got into a shrine where there's a big, basically beach ball floating on the water, and you can see it floating on the water, and there's a target up there, and I'm like, okay, should I be like reversing time? And then I when I was trying to do that, I actually dragged it underwater. I'm like, wait a second, and I just let go, and like a beach ball, it bounced, it like shot out of the water and hit the target. And I'm like, that's the solution. Of course it is. Yeah. It's like, okay, well, what else can we do with this? And I'm like, but that's where it is. Everything just works the way you think it should. And there's so much in the game. There's just so much there.
That's why, right? It's all the things where like everything works the way it should. And I think that's such a huge, win for the game, where like you don't have to worry about overthinking stuff because it just makes sense. It took us a while to realize like, oh, you can't just put a wing at the edge of a cliff and a fan and just like have that be a thing. You kind of have to have like the right angle, or you have to be on rails or something like that.
Well, what you can do is you can lift it up with the ultra hand and sort of swoop it back and forth, and then you can then put it back on the ground, then use the reverse time thing to reverse it so it swoops up, and now it's pointing down, and then you hop on it at that point, you stop the reverse time, and then it'll just float
airplane
down.
it. Yeah.
It's
totally.
like, oh my god, like there's so many ways you can actually do this stuff.
So before the reverse time stuff, we only had ultra hand and what's the other one?
Ascend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, Ascend. And we were just like rocking back on the wing on like a rock at the edge of a cliff, and we finally like did it so that like we just jumped on as it was tipping over, hit the fan, and then like steadied the plane, and it was just like,
oh, incredible.
What are we doing? Oh, it's great, man. What a game.
Jan, Lucy, how are you guys finding it?
Lucy?
I was worried about it because I need a through line. I need stuff to pull me through. Sure. And I was worried about the story feeling a little too open-ended. And I am still very much struggling with my attention span. So I am finding myself like doing a shrine and then putting it down and checking my phone and then picking it up and putting, So I'm still kind of definitely finding that. I'm finding it harder than Breath of the Wild. And I'm finding myself like keep getting confused with all the like inputs and everything. It's taking me a little bit longer to sort of
I agree with that.
Lose the muscle memory. Like, let me favorite things in the menu. Like, I can either sort it by fuse power or most recently used or whatever. Let me sort it by most used, please.
I thought
there were like a couple of little flavors.
I thought it was most used, but now that you said it, it is the most recently used. Is actually what it is. So I was confused in that. Okay, that makes more sense.
But I wish you could just like favorite stuff, so I wouldn't have to kind of like go through.
Yes.
But otherwise, like I don't think I realized how much I enjoyed Breath of the Wild until I started playing this, because like even the music, even all the sound cues are really getting to me. Like the feeling of exploration. Like I love the way that Link works and like runs, and I love the way he controls. And I don't know, I'm not necessarily the biggest. Ow, Peanut! Ow, god damn it! My cat just like scratched when she jumped down there.
Peanut's a big fan of Zelda. Didn't want to hear the slander.
She did not want to hear it. So I'm not like, I never finished Breath of the Wild because I felt like I didn't really need to. Again, because, nothing was pulling me along the whole way. But now I don't know. It feels like a really fun toolbox, sandbox for creativity. I'm really enjoying the new abilities. I thought that the old ones would be in, but I guess it makes a ton of sense that they're not, and I'm actually kind of glad.
Yes, it'd be too much.
And now, yeah, and I'm still only about 5 hours in, so I'm not very far through along at all. But I'm already loving seeing what people are coming up with. Like, I work with Max Blumenthal over on GameSpot, and he is like, I've been seeing some of the stuff that he's been working on, and he already has a document of, you know, hidden stuff that he's found or combos that he's found, and he's able to make work in Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm just so excited for that part of it. Because there's a subreddit where it's basically, here's how to build everything, and I was like, I need to be in there because I am stupid. And they are repaving my road right now, so I'm gonna kick it to Jan.
Pave my road.
Purra. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you would be
What's
down
that?
with Purra. Purra's the lady that made your tablet. She's the science lady with the high heels.
Yeah.
Let's
Genius.
stop beating around the bush, everyone. I mean, if anyone was going to say it, it was definitely going to be me.
Did you
Yeah,
see that?
of course.
Did you see that tweet? It would take you'd have to have 20 hearts and 3 stamina bars to pull me out.
Okay,
That's
well, I
pretty
wasn't
good.
going to go that far.
Well, I mean, what? Hey, listen, you opened the seal, and here we are.
Look, I forgot that Pura looked the way she did in Breath of the Wild, and then I saw a TikTok, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, right. Very much an
girl has had a glow up. Goddamn.
Goddamn, indeed. But yeah, I don't know. I was a little bit harsh on Breath of the Wild when it came out because I just really did not like the weapon degradation. I think I was really attached to like climbing mechanics in Grow Home and in Shadow of the Colossus. So those mechanics in Breath of the Wild were similar enough, but I felt like I couldn't juice it in this or game it in the same way I could in those other two games. But I eventually turned around on it after realizing all the other dumb stuff you can accomplish in Breath of the Wild. But upon that initial stream you and I did, Grub, where there was a sequence where there is like rails and they give you a minecart and then hooks. And then I was thinking like, okay, well, one of those rails, obviously it's out, so you couldn't put your cart across. And then just making the most obtuse structure in the world possible to get through and cheese this game in a way has me smiling from ear to ear.
It's a game where it's smart to be dumb. Where it's like you could just keep building. Like, forget that old engineering proverb about like you're done when there's nothing left to take away. No, keep adding shit, and you're gonna solve this problem eventually, and that rules.
Yes. I love the addition of the little Korok dudes being like, "Hey, I'll give you a seed, but you just gotta help me find my friends, man. It's really tough out here." They turn find my friends off. I don't know. I'm in the club right now. It's messed up. I mean,
the stuff that people are doing to those poor Koroks.
Man,
oh my
those
god,
Koroks, they can handle it.
They're
down
helping them find God.
They're down to clown. I built one. I built one a minivan out of wood, and I threw it in the back, and I played the minivan song that I always play when I'm riding in my minivan, and then we went across the country, and then eventually I took him back to his friend. But I'm having fun doing that as well because those little Koroks, they're little idiots. They're so empty-headed. I love them.
Also, I love the little I love the sign guy. I love the sign man.
God, the sign guy is also empty. God, all these himbos in this game. He rules. He's just like holding the sign. He's like, I don't know what to do, and I like usually have to like build a little structure. But I had one where it's like there was no wood around, so there was a snowball, and I just pushed it until it became a big snowball, and I put that to the side, and that held up the sign for him. It's a good game.
If we're talking about himbos, can we please talk about Rauru?
Yes.
My king.
Ruh-roh.
That's a long, sinewy boy.
King.
Little goat man.
He's giving me Garrus Vicarian vibes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's giving me, is it Sidonis? From the first, from Breath of the
Wild?
Wild?
The fish boy, the muscly fish guy?
Fish boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm surprised at how horny our conversation about Zelda has been.
Wow, you're
You're
denying your instincts.
I'm just saying, like, were those characters under the scrutiny when we were growing up? I don't think so.
Imagination was
hang
there.
on. Remember when I was on a couple weeks ago and I said I was writing a history of Zelda? I do know for a fact that for one of the 3D Zeldas, they purposefully made Link more attractive because one of the developers' wife was like, "Why isn't he more cute?"
Sure,
So-
Hell yeah.
I get that.
I think it was Ocarina of Time.
My partner says that to me all the time.
Aw.
Why isn't he more cute?
Yeah.
Aw.
That's fucked up, Jen. No,
I'm
I
sorry,
think
Jen.
like in the beginning too, like Zelda is, I was trying to explain to Dylan like why isn't Link talking, and I'm just like, it's just not his thing. It's like, what? Why can't he answer her back? She's really enthusiastic about these cave drawings. Like,
He's
what's
more about the written word. Yeah, speaking's just not.
He
how
loves
he's gonna do
spoken
things.
word.
Yeah. Him and Henry Rollins are going to do tour together later this year.
He's
yeah.
the silent type. We get it.
Zelda.
Strong and silent.
Go on.
No, she does start to like freak out over what is going on in the beginning there, and I'm just like, and I couldn't like, I'm also like, right, because this is like the first time there's like a big front-loaded talking scene in a Zelda game or ever, right?
It looked kind of like this. Yeah, they will do the thing where it's like someone is narrating as a camera pans over a
Right.
tapestry
It's
that
like
tells
not-
the history of Hyrule.
Sure.
Like a moment of like, here's going to be a scene between the characters that's going to set up the danger of this game. Yeah, that's not really happened before. I mean, I guess Link's Awakening for the Game Boy had that, like he's like on the ship, but they're not talking. It's just like we see him get hit by lightning
Right.
and then he ends up on the island. And it's much more suggested than what this here is. It's just like you're right, a scene that sets it up.
Yeah. Anyway, we don't have
how-
to fuck all these people, but okay.
Well,
In a Zelda game, in a Nintendo
I
game.
do-
Come on.
I do have my list of things that I've done on this game. I just started keeping it, but I started working as a journalist in the game. Me and a bird are going town to town, and we're interviewing people trying to find out what happened to Zelda, and then we're going to put a story in the paper about it if we ever figure that out.
Aw.
Let's see. I wrote down here the Path to the Wind Temple is amazing. I probably shouldn't have said those words, but oh well. It's really good. This game's also SnowRunner. You can you can deliver logs as part of a mission, and so you could build a truck if you have the steering wheel, or you can actually connect a carriage to a horse and then just do that. And it's either way, it's SnowRunner. I'm also a drug dealer. I keep having to find these little booble gems from these little creatures in caves. And then when I get the booble gems, I take them to a little freak outside of the central town, and he pays me in furry cosplay masks. Where it's like, here's now you can look like a bokoblin or whatever, and wear this mask now.
it's like Slurm.
Yeah, yes, exactly. I
When
hook
you
him
wham wham wazzle.
up. And then he also gave me a shirt that turns me into Sonic the Hedgehog. And I don't. Oh no, because instead of losing life when I get hit, I lose coins or I lose rupees. So I'm like, yeah, that turns me into Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a lot going on in this game. This is like I just started keeping this last night, and there's already like a ton of different mechanics that you wouldn't expect. And they're like so much bigger than they were in Breath of the Wild.
I have enjoyed watching people solve the same shrines that I'm currently trying to solve, because it just further highlights how weird my brain is, or how much less abstract or cleaner people think with their solutions, and how much I just try and ham fist stuff and just fit a square peg into a round hole, and then it winds up working.
Did you get to the one where it's like like you hit a switch and this little thing swings around and it's basically like a baseball club?
Oh yeah, I did that one yesterday.
Yeah. Did you get the one to open the treasure? Did you figure out how to hit the other target?
No.
I think
So there's these
Yeah, I
nail
just left it.
there's these nail things that can actually like lodge themselves into the ground, and you could attach them to things, and then once you've done that, then you put the nails into a surface and they'll stick to the surface, so you can get the big like wall that's blocking it out of the way by doing that, so you could hit the other
So
target.
smart.
It's like
I
it
was
took me
using
forever
it
to
the
figure
other
out
day.
too.
Because outside of that shrine, there are some of those pegs that go into all surfaces, and there was a chest that I couldn't get, and I basically made myself little climbing,
Yes, I did that too. I was like,
a
oh
little
yeah.
a little walkway. I felt like a genius.
Yes, and it's just like these little things throughout the world everywhere. I think the complaint, which I never really agreed with, that Breath of the Wild felt empty. I'm like, no, it's deliberate. You're supposed to sort of go out there and feel a little bit lost and whatever. This game is definitely not that anymore. It still has that walk around and wander, and you're going to discover stuff, and you can find places that might be a little bit more open and vast. But chances are there's going to not just be just a Korok seed. There's going to be a Korok seed. There's going to probably be something else happening there as well, and that's impressive. And then there's the fact that it's got the Sky Islands and the depths, which I did not realize were going to be as expansive as they are. I went down to the depths a little bit, which is an underground area, and I started poking around. I'm like, okay, this is probably not going to be as big as the overworld map. And then I'm like, I like zoomed out to see how much I had explored, and it's like a fraction of a fraction. It's like, oh my God, there's so much to this game. So yeah, I've played about 12 to 15 hours in that range. I'm bad at estimating that. I feel still like I'm just barely scratching the surface. I'm like just beginning to get my feet underneath me about how I'm going to approach the game. I did do the main story for a little bit. I did one of the temples, and now I think I'm just going to wander again for a while. So yeah, it's kind of amazing.
One of my favorite things isn't necessarily related to the game, but it is seeing my friends list on my Switch just littered with everyone online, all playing Tears of the Kingdom. And like, I can't remember a time, like the last time a Switch game came out where it virtually everyone was checking it out besides
Animal Crossing.
Probably Animal Crossing during the pandemic. But Jesus, it's cool.
Oh my God.
What's wrong, Lucy?
Pandemic.
That was
we refer to it here.
That's how things, like, there was a time when in the early Xbox 360 days where everyone would get on and play the same, because like games just weren't coming out as frequently. And now
like
there's
Red Dead.
Yeah,
GTA.
Like Mass Effect. Everyone was playing Mass Effect, and we would all like, just collectively go from one. Yeah, we'll go from one game to the next. RE6, of course. And it's like that just doesn't really happen anymore until a game like this. And this game, we'll get into it in the news, obviously, but everyone is playing this game. Everybody. It is selling like crazy. And yeah, selling like hotcakes. Absolutely. So I think it's going to take over the entire summer. I think we're going to be seeing stuff about this game all summer. It's been, I got my Feedly feed, my RSS reader, and every Zelda story is like the one. So it's like, oh, that's the really hot story today is Zelda. And from every website, it's a Zelda story. That's just the biggest story of the day. So yeah, people are into it in the way that they were into Elden Ring, and maybe even bigger. So yeah, it's going to be a good summer. I think it does feel a little bit bigger.
Yeah. We got an email that we probably won't get to in the show, and it wanted us to describe why we don't like Red Dead Redemption 2, and I think that's primarily targeted towards Grub, Dan, and I. This game is what I want it to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, with Red Dead Redemption 2, the promise was, hey, you're going to be able to say hi to everybody, and if you keep your gun away, that's going to matter. If you pull your gun out, that's going to matter. And it's like, yeah, that stuff. It's surface level. There's nothing deeper happening with that stuff. It's kind of always going to be the same thing. And then that's like the limits of the interaction. And the rest of the time, the game was like, play me how I want to be played. The developer designed a game that is open and vast just when you look at it. And then as soon as you start playing it, you have to play it on the developer's terms. And I bristle against that. I think there's a lot of people who don't, and I'm glad that they have the game. I think it's a bad way to do games. I think it's bad, not for me. I legit think it's bad, but whatever. People can like bad things. And this game is the complete opposite, like you were saying. So
why isn't Arthur Morgan more cute?
Yeah, exactly. That's really
he is handsome as hell. What does it matter?
Just a little bit more.
Not mine. I got him real dirty.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't wait to check in progressively as the weeks go by, because Lord knows this is going to occupy the mind space and the mind share of Giant Bomb, this website, and across all fandom properties. God, I just want to keep playing it. I just kind of want to keep playing it.
Should we cut the Bombcast short and just go play?
Let's just sit in silence and just like, huh? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
stream it. We'll just go through and we'll just chat while one of you's playing.
There we go.
I also can't believe I'm the only one who likes Red Dead 2.
Lucy, you like Red Dead, right?
It's one of my favorite games of all time.
Thank you, Lucy. We're best buds.
Yeah, I know.
We're all united here. Grub is linking his article there. I did read it, and I was like, wow, this Chef Grub guy.
I'm queuing it up.
Yo, that was your headline?
Yes. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a disappointment.
Did the choppers appear outside?
I think
Not for this, but for other things in the past. Definitely, those choppers have shown up at the outside my backyard. For
I
sure.
mean, look, the first sentence of the second graph is, "I'm enjoying Red Dead Redemption 2."
Yeah, I mean, listen. Yeah, like
I
maybe
think
that
Red Dead was the
lie.
last game I ever wrote about. For what it's worth.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's kind of a long time ago.
It is.
2018.
Oh,
guess
I know.
that
I
makes
got out,
sense.
baby.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yep.
Anyone else have any closing thoughts this week, at least, on Tears of the Kingdom?
Oh man,
No.
no.
Yeah, I just I'm playing it way more. I mean, I thought I was going to be into it, but I'm pretty much every chance I get, I'm playing a lot of it, and that's going to be it for the. I had to drop Jedi Survivor because I didn't get that finished because we were traveling, and I'm like a little bummed out by that. But whatever, it's all about Tears of the Kingdom, at least for the next couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying an e-reader for this upcoming trip that we all have, and I was like, maybe I'll just glue a bunch of shit together instead in Tears of the Kingdom. My favorite, last thing for me at least, I just love attaching a shield to another shield and just thinking like, I got a super shield now. It's twice the power.
Well, you can get the big cement like slabs and put it on the front, and then like that can like block fire and stuff, but it also just looks really silly. So like just holding a big cement thing.
Jesus, I was on a sky island, and then like a big green goopy ball appeared and then turned into a shrine, and I was so confused. It was great. It was great.
Okay. See, I love games like this where I just hear them like, what? Okay,
Yeah,
how do I find
you're like,
that?
Who's that?
See,
Yeah.
that's what Red Dead 2 was like when it came out in the office, and there were only a few of us playing.
yes.
And we would come in and we'd be like, "Oh my god, did you see this? Or did you get that guy down there?" And like we would do all that.
Well,
stuff.
like the alien shit. When I first saw,
Whoa.
Dude,
whoa.
the incest brother
incest
sister
aliens?
couple.
Yeah, well, that too.
Well, I'm back on board, folks.
Back-
Show me
see,
where.
Because all we
I
had
like
to do was
killing
talk about
the
fucking.
KKK. That was fun.
Yeah, that's it.
Brooke, do you guys think Tears of the Kingdom is kind of a shoe-in for Game of the Year? Do you guys think there's going to be conversations about some other stuff? Because I know
Final Fantasy 16, baby, come on.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of people really like Resident Evil 4. Yep.
Yeah.
Diablo 4?
We could give it to PUBG again. Keep
We
tradition
could.
going.
No, I think the sort of like wake that is created around this game is going to be difficult to permeate for another Game of the Year contender. Again, we just don't know, but we are almost halfway through the year, and I feel like, yeah, we'll see. Also, what I wanted to ask you, Grub, is like, we talked about obviously Redfall more or less dead on arrival, but you've got other games that are like within the blast radius of this release, right? Like your Jedi Survivor, stuff like that.
Well,
We're
Jedi's fine. It's Star Wars.
oh no, I'm just saying, like, I just find it surprising that like there still isn't a lot of like. I'm surprised there's not more breathing room in terms of release.
Right.
Well,
Jedi had the breathing room.
Yeah.
And then it got delayed and I think at that point it's just you either have to commit to that 2-week delay or the cost to move it more out of Zelda, then you're moving it into.
You have to move it way
June.
past Zelda because if you're on the back side of Zelda, like
Backside, you don't want to be the
there's no
backside.
oxygen.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and
Be
then
respectful, please.
You'd have to move it to July or August to get any sort of space from everything else, but like at that point.
When's Armored Core coming out?
August?
Yeah, August sounds
September?
right.
Yeah, summer.
Man, it's really
There's no way to know. Yeah. All right.
But I mean, I think this year's just jam packed, so there's really no place to put it. If you have a game and you had to delay it, you're going to get kind of pushed up against Zelda. And what can you do? Nothing really. You have to get these games out because pushing it back is just going to cost you more money at a certain point. So get it out there. I think Lucy's right. Jedi Survivor did fine. Some of these other games like Redfall was a bad game, and it's going to get eaten up by this for sure. But it was going to kind of get forgotten anyhow.
I feel like we're gonna be too tired to play Armored Core.
Yeah, probably.
I think
Yeah.
we'll just be sleeping. We'll just be hibernating by then.
Yeah, I feel like the dark horse candidate for perhaps unseating whatever front runner for Game of the Year might be Street Fighter 6, depending on how.
Sure.
Yeah, if
Oh,
that
yeah.
if that
launches.
takes over everybody, yeah,
Sure.
there's a chance for that, and I want to get into that.
Like if we all jump in as a bunch of scrubs, then like
I like it.
the scrubs can rub a dub and have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
taught me how to do some specials the other day because we have a PC and an arcade cabinet, and we've got the Street Fighter 6 demo.
Yeah,
and he taught me how to do.
Saw some pictures of you playing that. It seemed like you were getting into it.
Oh man,
I was getting into it. He's teaching me.
I should hit up Richard to teach me.
Yeah, Christian actually is going to teach me, and Turbo Sean's going to teach Mike, and we're going to do some Street Fighter 6 stuff this summer. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I want to get good at it. We can all get our own coaches and have a league or something.
Okay.
We should do that, like
actually,
a Giant Bomb Invitational, but for Street Fighter scrubs.
Yeah, let's do it.
I might know a very tall scientist that could help me out.
I mean, listen, if you can get him back from the wilds, you know.
Oh, that's right.
He's still evading podcast
like Rambo.
jail.
Yeah.
Actually, Road to Evo? Let's go to Evo.
Let's fucking go to Evo. That would rule.
Let's just go to Evo, guys.
Go to Evo and do cash games and some really like Masters of Terrace Kazi and Flipnik and stuff. Yeah, let's go.
Let me tell you, Evo is probably the most fun at a gaming convention meetup I've ever had. And a lot of that was like just following Ben around, but it was just great. I will forever remember someone yelling as he beats his opponent, "You just got Chicago deep dick down" style.
Better than pizza.
Better than New York pizza dick down.
Poop.
Yeah.
What was it?
Oh my God.
Slam
America.
poop. Yeah.
Folks, any other thoughts, feelings on anything before we go to the break? I gotta cool off. I was thinking about Pura too much.
Yeah, last thing. I know we talked a little bit about the performance. How are y'all feeling about the Switch right now? Because overall, I'm like, I don't need a Switch 2. This is pretty good.
I'm thinking more and more that
doing fine.
I'm thinking more and more that I need an OLED.
Oh yeah, it's really good on the OLED. It really does make a difference.
Yeah.
Also, that battery life makes a difference. It's yeah.
I'm only playing docked though, and I have a day one OG Switch, so it's fine for me.
Yeah,
So, but I mean,
The OLED's not going to perform better
I'm getting a
on
little
docked.
FOMO
No.
of like, what if I had an OLED? But I don't use it undocked enough, so it's like, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, because the OLED doesn't provide any performance enhancement, I'm sticking with this. But no, I definitely, absolutely want a new Switch. It's old. This
Fair
thing,
enough.
like, I'll be the first to admit that like this game's amazing, and I'll be the second to admit that it could use more processing power for sure.
Cool.
I'm already dreading the shout-outs section because I read the other doc. And oh boy.
You know what you got to do, Jen? You got to like lock it at some point.
No. I lock it as
All
soon
right,
as the
never mind.
episode gets posted. That's the rules. Everyone,
it's right there. I found it. Never mind.
everyone, for having a great first segment of the show, we all get 12 podcast points.
Oh, I'm sitting on 32 points
Yay.
already.
Lucy,
What's
you
up?
get an extra. You get. I'm gonna take away one podcast point because you said Ewoks are dumb.
Oh,
But
Oh, okay.
I'll
yeah,
give you
she
2
deserves that.
podcast points because we're friends and we can see past each other's differences.
So
There we
you
go.
did nothing.
and you
Jen?
respect his his perversion for Pura.
I do.
Pura version.
And I'm right there with him.
Perversion.
I'm right there with him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hey.
Let's fucking go.
Hey, amen, brother. And we'll see you after this break. Holy smokes. What if I was able to make a website dedicated to smoking meats? That doesn't have to be a what if with Squarespace. Squarespace can help you create the website of your dreams or an online portfolio to help you get yourself or your business off the ground. You can have a whole Smoking Meats collective online. Create a fun blog where you can connect with folks to chat about smoking meat tips and different tricks. Squarespace has a whole slew of analytics too to track how your business is popping off and what you need to do to get folks engaged with your meats or other website ideas. On top of that, Squarespace also has email campaigns ready to go to help you get folks back in the meat loop with your business. Head to squarespace.com/bombcast for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Smoked meats. We've all been there, right? You grab a free trial of a subscription, use it a bunch, and then forget about it. Then it becomes pretty difficult to cancel. Well, no need to fear because Rocket Money has got your back. They're here to save you money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Over 80% of people have subscriptions they forget about, whether it's a streamer or a game trial that never or barely used. Rocket Money can quickly find all your subscriptions for you, and if you don't want them anymore, just hit cancel and Rocket Money will cancel it for you. On top of that, Rocket Money also helps you manage your finances all in one place. You can track your budget in real time and get alerted if anything looks a little funky. Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $722 a year. Stop throwing your money away. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/bomb. That's rocketmoney.com/bomb. rocketmoney.com/bomb. This is a rocket ship with your money. It's blasting off because of all the money you're saving.
I think it just came to the house. I'll be right back. Jeff Grubb, the news.
Yep.
Oh wow!
Let's get into the news. All right, I'm very excited.
Actually, let's show these audio listeners these photographs.
Yeah.
Look at these photographs.
For audio listeners, I'm holding up our photographs from Buca di Beppo at Universal City Walk when we went to Universal, when we went to Super Nintendo World and all that stuff. That travelogue is up now. People should definitely go watch it. It was God. Jan just killed it, man. It's so good. That 360 cam footage also way better than I was expecting. I was kind of like, I'm sure that makes sense, but then the way it's like can provide that exterior, that third person perspective, like alongside what he was showing with the camera or whatever. It's like, that actually adds so much understanding to like where we were walking through. He did a really good job. It's kind of cool to have all those memories preserved like that. So definitely go check that out. That's up on the site now. We'll have a part 2 where we actually do spend a lot of time in Universal City Walk. You can catch that. All right, let's get to the news. News. All right, Lucy, you added this exclusive interview from a website called GameSpot that I think the headline from GameSpot. This headline here says Overwatch 2's PvE mode is being scrapped. Blizzard explains what happened and why. Hey, Lucy, what happened and why?
Oh boy. Well, first of all, shout out to Timur Hussein because he got this exclusive interview with Aaron Keller, who's the game director, and the exec producer Jared Neuss, Neuss. Neuss?
Yeah, Neuss.
That works.
Jared from the Overwatch team. And basically, so the whole thing when Overwatch 2 was announced, I believe it was BlizzCon 2019, the thing that really made it Overwatch 2 was the fact that they were going to be adding this PvE component to it. Oh, holy shit.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Jan got it.
Just
Hell
got
yeah.
a PC.
Oh my God. Jan just, wow.
It is big and cumbersome.
It was a floating box. It was huge. So yeah, the whole thing that made it Overwatch 2, the thing that they were really going ham on, it was playable at BlizzCon, was the fact that there were these PvE co-op missions where each of the heroes from Overwatch would have their own skill tree. You could basically make each character your own. Like, there was stuff where I think Tracer could, for example, every time she would blink, she would reload, or she had different Reinhardt could do different things. Like truly just taking the heroes that we all know and love, giving them more abilities, letting you mix and match, and also play with your friends in these co-op missions. They're all story-based, because one of the things about Overwatch is it's got a lot of lore. And the thing is that when they basically consciously uncoupled Overwatch 2's PvE from PvP, and they launched Overwatch 2 as PvP only in October of last year, and they said, we went to Blizzard, like Tam and I with Richard, we went to Blizzard, and we talked to Aaron, and he was like, yeah, PvE content is going to be coming in season pass stuff down the line. And now it's not. Basically, they've killed it. And I would definitely recommend reading the interview, because basically it all comes down to the fact that they just don't think they can deliver on it, which is a very Blizzard thing. Like think about all the work that went into Titan before it became Overwatch,
right.
And all the other projects that they work on that kind of get canned before we even see them. So basically, it's just they got too big. It sounds like. I mean, reading the interview with Aaron, he's saying, up to, I think it was 40 or something. Let me double check. 40 to 50 talents per hero, and there's 35 heroes right now, which is just an impossible, impossible configuration.
Yeah, so he says you're looking at thousands of talents to make everything just to go get the game out of the door, plus all the content and missions you'd be playing to do that. And it is a pretty gargantuan ask for a team. And then on top of that, you need to run that as a live service game, so content has to continually come out for that side of the game. And who's to say that like there's any guarantee that that side of the game takes off or becomes anything? That's a lot of work for something that's no guarantee. And also, they continue to struggle to attract talent at Blizzard because they're still in that Activision Blizzard fog. And they're also
pushing return to office.
Return to office,
hemorrhaging them a lot of talent.
Exactly, and it's like, okay, we're not gonna be able to just get the people that can actually do this. And so what's our option here? It sounds like this was inevitable at a certain point. You're a fan, Lucy. Is this the right call? What is the future of Overwatch?
I think it is ultimately the right call, because I think at the end of the day, if they didn't deliver on it, that would be an even bigger shit show.
Yeah, good point.
It's basically, the bake-off thing. You don't want to plate it if Paul Hollywood's not going to like it, or if it's undercooked. You don't want to be giving anyone food poisoning. But no, I think it's a good move in the end, but it is disappointing because that was basically the thing that the two hinged on. Like, there have been meaningful changes to Overwatch 2, don't get me wrong. Like, obviously the move to 5v5, new heroes, season pass content. Like, we're getting a much better drop of new maps, new heroes, new content. Like, it's great. But the big thing that I think a lot of people were very intrigued by was the PvE, and it is super sad to see that not come to fruition. But I think the other thing for me was, like, I would just be concerned if I was on the Overwatch team, but they do actually address this in the interview that, like, folks who are working on PvE are going to be working on live service stuff, and they made a further commitment to, they've been introducing a new hero every 2 seasons or so, like, promising a lot more content. They outlined, I think it's season 6, which is coming up. And so I still feel good about the future of Overwatch. Like, it's still bringing in money. We saw that from the ABK financials a few weeks ago. But I'm bummed because, I've had a lot of fun playing the archive missions with my mates, like even Junkenstein stuff, like less heavy on the story stuff, but it seemed like it had promise. And it's just sad to see it go,
Do you think that, like you suggested with like what happened with them working on Titan for so long before it became Overwatch, do you think a lot of this content, and I know they basically already said this, do you think a lot of this content can turn over, like that can be reused in other parts of Overwatch, and then that could be enough to maybe reinvigorate that community?
I hope so. But I mean, we're getting to the issue with Overwatch right now where I honestly don't know what it would be like to approach it as a newcomer. I played Overwatch since day one when there was, how many heroes? 20-ish?
Yep.
Coming in now with 35, I wonder what that onboarding experience is like. I genuinely wouldn't understand how to approach Overwatch as a fresh player at this point. But the thing is as well, the barrier to entry is minimal. It is free to play. So, I don't know, man. I just hope it's still going to keep going, because I genuinely think it's one of the best first-person like shooters, like hero shooters on the market. So
let me ask this, and then we'll start moving on with the news. The EU kind of approved the Microsoft deal. There's still some deals, some other regulators in the way, but let's say the deal goes through. Are you more or less optimistic about Overwatch's future under a Microsoft ownership?
Under a Microsoft ownership, I could see it doing pretty well. Like, I mean, Overwatch as a franchise, I think, still has a lot of potential. I think they could fully do the Riot stuff. Like, they could do an Arcane with it easily. Like, some of those shorts are, like, Pixar level stuff anyway. Like, we know that they're so good at cinematics. Like, I'm amazed that they haven't really done the... What do they call it? There's, like, a really wanky name. Not mixed media,
Oh, transmedia?
Transmedia stuff. Like, there's so much potential with Overwatch. I would even say that there's potential for Overwatch PvE as a separate game. So I have such a soft spot for Overwatch. I mean, look,
of course,
This is my nameplate from GameSpot. I have a Diva thing on it. My wallpaper is still Diva. Down there I have a Winston. I have a Diva. Like, Overwatch is still super important to me, and I just really hope that it's... I don't want it to die. I don't think it will die.
I don't think it's gonna die. You don't want what happened to like Halo to happen to it, where it's like it becomes kind of a bummer to think about. Although Halo's having it's a little bit of a revival for sure. All right, let's get on with the rest of the news. Thanks for your help there, Lucy. I appreciate that. All right, let's start here. Surprise! Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is selling well. It has sold 54% faster than Hogwarts Legacy in the UK. Also in the UK, its physical version has sold 173% faster than Breath of the Wild did. It is already the 4th biggest Zelda game by revenue of all time in the UK. So not like lined up for launch. It's already made more money than every Zelda game, except for 4 of them. It's going to catch up to those here pretty quick as well. Incredibly, in France alone, it has already sold 500,000 physical copies. Just physical copies.
Why is that weird for French people?
Just think about, let's put this in perspective.
Yeah.
Horizon Forbidden West, the other day, they announced that game worldwide has sold 8 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
So just one country in Europe, and just physical, not digital, 500,000, 1 million copies already, or 500,000 copies already. Like that's, like a huge chunk of like any other popular game. And this is just one small country in Europe. I mean, it's
especially for the French.
Especially for the so if you compare it to what like other games in France, I think the best selling game previously in France was FIFA 23, which did 420,000 units in the same time frame. It would go on to sell 1.7 million units in France if this game's doing that in, again, just France alone. Like that's massive. I think it speaks to this thing just being huge everywhere. These are the early numbers that we have. I expect Nintendo probably to put out a press release here in the next couple of days, maybe the end of this week, saying that this game is at 10 million copies sold easily already, almost certainly.
That's crazy.
It's probably, at the pace it's going, it's probably going to be at 20 million by the end of this year. And Breath of the Wild just crossed 30 million, or it's about, it just crossed 30 million. This game could zoom to that number here pretty quickly as well. You wonder, it's like, how are these games going to do? Like, yeah, sure, everyone played Breath of the Wild, everyone's primed for this next game, but a lot of people have been letting their Switches collect dust or whatever because it's getting late in the life cycle. Will they come back? It turns out, yes, they have. But I mean, I don't know. Have you guys noticed? To me, it seems like this game is everywhere.
Oh yeah, like instantly, my TikTok algorithm somehow changed from never having any video game videos to like, here's a bunch of shit on Tears of the Kingdom. Here's these 3 Koroks that got crucified.
Yep. My entire thing is just Tears of the Kingdom now, and I don't think that even. I don't remember it permeating as much even when Breath of the Wild came out. Like, obviously TikTok wasn't a thing back then, but like
Twitter even.
I don't remember. Yeah.
It took a while.
It took a while. Yeah. Right. It took a while, I think, for people to realize that people were interested in this stuff. There was definitely like a lot of talk, and it was very, very popular at the time. But in terms of it being like this social media darling in the same way that we definitely saw what happened with Elden Ring and now with Tears of the Kingdom, that was kind of still a bit new around the time for Breath of the Wild. But it definitely got there. There was a lot of stuff happening on social media with Breath of the Wild after a while. Some people, I've had some people reach out that like run relatively big game stores in places like Australia and here, and they're like, yeah, we got 400 copies of this game.
Holy shit!
We ordered 400, and we're selling out through them pretty quickly. But like we were in like that, like that's unprecedented. Like we've never ordered that many copies of a game.
Think about how many Mike Minottis would have to sleep out overnight to buy.
How many midnight Mike Minottis, which is what we call them.
I'll take 2 midnight Mike Minottis, please.
Yeah, midnight Mike Minotti. Yeah, did you guys see he won his little armband for the
6 sleeves?
Yeah, his 6 sleeve, his sleeve tat. Yeah,
I'm so happy for him.
Let me see. Send a picture.
Mike, post the link to the picture. Yeah, I mean, like I said, surprise, right? We knew this game was going to be big. It does feel even. Okay, but you beat or you defeated? Okay,
defeated.
Doesn't matter. Both things work. Yeah.
Yeah, this game's big. It's going to continue to be big. Please go ahead.
To talk about Minotti, because Lucy's here and Summer Game Fest is steadfast approaching. I remember Lucy and I thinking like, oh, is Mike not going to want to talk to us because we took Grub away from him?
Oh yeah, I remember that. I was like,
it was like,
little did you know he was priming to ride the coattails to get on board, get on the old Jeff Grubb choo-choo train over to Giant Bomb.
And then Minotti just like, not necessarily like spins his way over, but kind of like dips his way over. It's like,
yeah, did a little dotsy-do, I'm sure. You
probably
pirouetted.
You guys took Grubby away from me.
yeah.
And I'm like, all right.
Like, we're so sorry.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And then I was like, all right, Minotti can stay. I'll board the Midnight Mikey train.
And the Midnight Mikey train will be checking in to Summer Game Fest with us as well, so everyone should look out for that. That's going to be a good time. Going to be a good time. All right. Speaking of Zelda doing well, you can imagine what that means for what's next. And that is expect more open world Zelda games going forward, suggests IG Aonuma. In an interview with Game Informer, the series producer said that while Ocarina of Time served as a template previously, going forward, it's likely that Breath of the Wild will be the new template for the series. And again, kind of big surprise, right? They sold a lot of Zelda games before Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild was a huge sea change in terms of how well this franchise sells. Nothing's ever come close for the Zelda games before this, not really. And so, yeah, they're going to keep doing this going forward because Tears of the Kingdom is replicating that success. What do you guys think the chances are of them deviating from this template anytime soon?
It's going to be so hard to not do this template, right? Like, I feel like it's a similar pattern that the folks behind God of War are in right now, where, all right, 2018 Kratos hit really well. It's going to be hard to not do that for the subsequent releases. But I mean, in that instance where that God of War and Breath of the Wild, like, they're two formulas that continue to work, and you can adapt it towards whatever different areas. Go ahead. Oh fuck! I meant to mention this during the what you've been playing. So the Sky Towers, right, where you have like the little grappling cable on you. They shoot you up in the air and stuff. When I saw that going off for the first time, and this is probably because I've been on a big Attack on Titan kick lately.
Sure.
If I trust any other company besides Epic to do it, I trust Nintendo to fucking strap some ODM gear to that boy and let him zip across Hyrule, baby. Oh my God.
That'd
just
be good
let him do
DLC.
it.
Just giants, like just fighting giants with the ODM gears. Like, that's that what the grappling hook thing is called? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Sure.
Give it to me.
I do think like the building stuff was a pretty substantial, not pivot, but sort of like, addition, right? Like
I think it was a pivot. Like, they were making Breath of the Wild, and then development got pretty. They're like, we have this new idea, but we're gonna have to delay the game but we really believe in this idea. So they delayed the game for years, and it became Breath of the Wild. So yeah, I think that for them it was a pretty big change.
my point being, like, I think you cannot take away now, right? Like, if they release the next game and it's Breath of the Wild, and you're just like, what? I can't do what I like. That's the thing. You sort of you build upon that recipe, and I think that's what God of War is going to have to figure out next go around too. Like you said, Jen.
Yeah, they're doing a God of War duology, and for a reason. I think they know they need to freshen things up next time around. Yeah, but I think that there is a chance that we get smaller 2D-ish, like Link's Awakening sort of remakes, but maybe something new there from a team like Grezzo that did that Link's Awakening remake. And you just take the old style of Zelda, do that in a smaller way, something that could be made even cheaper than obviously more cheaper than a Tears of the Kingdom. And I think that's a good way to let that legacy version of Zelda live on. It's probably not going to get like they're probably not, the next big main Zelda is not going to go back to that anytime soon, but they will find ways to kind of keep that legacy alive. I would even like an Ocarina of Time, like full on remake. I think it could be really good with like a lot of editing there. And I know they remade it for 3DS, and that definitely counts. But like a HD 4K remake would be very cool for the next system, but I don't know if they'll get around to that. All right. Nintendo probably won't take 2 years to announce and release its Switch successor. Nintendo investors are beginning to ask questions about the next system. And President Shuntaro Furukawa spoke to it a little bit, and he mostly spoke to the timeline in which they would begin like showing this stuff off. And he said, when we announced our entry into the mobile business at that time, talking about when they announced the Switch as the NX, he said we needed to let people know that Nintendo would be continuing to focus on the dedicated video game platform business as our core business. So I believe that the timing of the Nintendo Switch announcement was a special case. We will provide information about hardware and software at the appropriate time for each product and strive to reach a wide range of consumers. Basically, reading between the lines is, at that time, they felt the need to announce the NX very early. It wasn't just because of mobile gaming. Obviously, the Wii U was a dud, and they wanted to let people know they were moving on from that. This time, the Switch is not that. So it's very likely that there will be a much more contracted announcement of like the first time they mention a successor to it actually coming out. And it's probably going to be like something as quick as like 6 months or something like that, which, they've said in their last investor call, they're probably not going to have anything in terms of new hardware before spring of next year. But do you guys think like maybe next fall we will begin hearing about it? And if that's the case, when do they announce it?
These things are always so weird because I feel like the vibe I get for this kind of rollout schedule, when you think about it in like a year sort of compartmentalized like period of time, you're like, oh, it has to happen between now and then. And then when you think more sort of locally in like quarters, right, you're like, oh no, there's still so much time. Bottom line is it's like really tough to split the difference and like figure out this sort of stuff. I still think before the end of this year is when we hear about it.
Yeah, I
right?
think there's a good chance of that we begin hearing about it at the end of this year.
I was thinking as you were mentioning the Tears of the Kingdom numbers, and then that's them, Nintendo continuing to ride the success of the Mario movie, doing super well in the box office. That like, what's the third big thing they're gonna do this year? Is it just release this? Not release, but announce Switch
baby.
2?
No, they have to have software for the holiday.
Yeah, but what is going to be like the big headline? Is it like what software is it going to be?
Mario Hockey. I mean, look, it's an underdog story, Cinderella story.
Yeah. But are they gonna do another like 2017 where they did a Mario and a Zelda in one?
I would love that. Please do that. Yeah,
be great.
Please.
Would a Donkey Kong a new Donkey Kong light the world on fire?
I mean, if it's from the Mario team, yes, because they make great games.
Like a 3D one or like a tropical freeze.
Let's say 3D.
Let's say 3D. Yeah.
Yeah. Donkey Kong Country Returns, Tropical Freeze 2. Yes, there it is.
But like 3D.
Yes.
Somehow Donkey Kong has returned.
Yeah.
Poor Oscar Isaac. I think a 3D Donkey Kong game could light the world on fire if it's done right. It also could completely miss, but they've been doing a lot of Donkey Kong stuff. But I don't know. I think there's a chance that there isn't much this holiday, and they rely on the Pokemon DLC as their big thing. Yeah, that's entirely possible. Maybe they have Tears of the Kingdom DLC. We're pretty early in the year. I think they probably actually hold that back for even next year, but maybe it's for this holiday. And if that's the case, that's what they go with. I don't know. All right, let's move on here out of the Nintendo news over to the Microsoft world of acquisitions. Microsoft's purchase of Activision did get the okay from the EU. The European Commission has approved Microsoft's acquisition with some caveats. Those conditions all have to do with cloud gaming. To meet those conditions, Microsoft will have to give players who purchase Activision Blizzard games a free additional license to take their games with them to other cloud platforms. I've thought about this. I think it's something that could definitely work on like NVIDIA. If you have like a subscription to use NVIDIA, what is their NVIDIA Now? What do they call their streaming service?
GeForce Now.
GeForce Now. Thank you. If you have a subscription to that, you don't then have to buy the game again. It just is going to work, and they already kind of honor that with a lot of Steam games, I think. So yeah, that totally makes sense. But there are definitely some services that Microsoft's already made deals with where this doesn't make a lot of sense. Like that Ubisoft in Japan is one where like they let you buy games just like normally through like the Switch eShop, but then when you play them, you're playing a cloud version that's streaming. And it's not like it's through the Nintendo Switch cloud service that doesn't exist. It's like set up on a per game instance. And it's like in that case, that would just be using the bandwidth of Ubisoft if you bought it somewhere else and then you brought that license. Or is Microsoft gonna have to share some of that revenue anytime someone plays it? It sounds like there's going to be some questions left to figure out here. But overall, I mean, the cloud gaming continues to be the central focus, but we have the two different sides of it. The EU seems like to feel pretty confident about like the caveats they did get Microsoft to agree to being enough. The CMA responded saying, no, that's not enough. Microsoft's going to destroy cloud gaming. You got to stop them. I don't know. How do you guys feel about cloud gaming continuing to be the focus here, and how do you feel about the deal now?
What? No one has any
Ugh.
hardcore cloud gaming opinions?
Yeah, that's right. It's where we're
I
still
mean,
at.
like
Huh?
that's where it's, yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
the
yeah,
point, right? Like,
I don't leave my apartment enough to have an opinion about cloud gaming, really. Although I will say, one time when I had to go back to the UK for 6 months, I just took my tablet and I paired my Xbox controller to it. That was pretty sick. I
Yeah,
was just playing games
it
that way.
works.
It was
was
great.
it more of a
Continues to work, yeah.
novelty that you were like, oh, I have this, or was it actually good?
No, it was both. Like, although
Yeah.
unfortunately I was playing 12 minutes, so that really
Oh,
negatively
Yeah.
impacted
They might
my
turn
emotions.
that game around. I don't know.
they never should have let that on cloud for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too powerful.
Oh man.
But no, I mean, in terms of cloud gaming, it's such a weird thing for them to be hung up on, to be honest. I would have thought that Game Pass or even King's market share would have been the real thing that got its hooks in people, but no, I guess cloud
But
is
Microsoft doesn't have any mobile. That's probably why King just doesn't rate, because it's like they don't have a presence in mobile, so that doesn't really worry them. Yeah.
But also, yeah, I mean, like Microsoft's from their financials a few weeks ago, we saw that like cloud is the moneymaker. So, that
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like, yeah, I understand it, but also classic UK having to be different, huh? And the EU being like, well, screw you guys.
They
So-
definitely are sniping at one another, the CMA and the EC. As soon as the European Commission posted this approval, the CMA was right there with a 5-tweet thread where they were just like, "We stand by what we did. We disagree with the EC, although we respect their ability to govern themselves or whatever." And it's like, oh man, they still have those Brexit feels. I think these two
Yeah.
sides are still kind of beefing, and Microsoft's caught in the middle here a little bit.
Look, a lot of Brexit feels all right.
Yeah, well, those Brexit feels don't go away. All right, let's see here. Amazon is making a new Lord of the Rings MMO. Lord of the Rings Online is still kicking around. It even gets new content pretty regularly. But Amazon and Embracer Group are teaming up for a new MMO. That might sound familiar. Amazon previously tried to make a Lord of the Rings MMO with Leiyu Technologies from China, but when Tencent acquired Leiyu, that derailed the project. Now Embracer has the rights once again. The rights were reverted after Leiyu had them, and then they reverted back to Embracer. And now Embracer is working directly with Amazon again to make this happen. Amazon Games Orange County, the studio that made New World, is going to be making this game. I never played New World. Lucy, I understand that you like Lord of the Rings. Are you in the market for a new Lord of the Rings MMO?
Yes.
So it begins. The great
Oh.
Star Wars and Marvelification of Lord of the Rings.
And you're
I
here
don't
for
think
it.
No one asked for it.
Fucking as if Gollum wasn't bad enough.
I think
Like,
that
look
going
at
game
that.
looks fine. I don't know. I don't
Lucy,
think that. But...
Lucy, as the one person left alive who enjoys this franchise, what say you about, as you put it, the Marvelification of your thing?
Are we gonna have Bill like Frodo say or no, Sam come in at the very end of Lord of the Rings and just go on your left?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna start putting post-credit sequences of, I don't know, fucking Morgoth or something in. I don't know, man. Like,
Oh, this rules. People are calling you a boomer for liking Lord of the Rings, and I'm enjoying that a lot.
Oh, I want it. What a beautiful thing that is. Oh.
No, I don't understand why they are making a Lord of the Rings MMO based on the books, not even Peter Jackson's film trilogy. They're based on the books, specifically The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, which is exactly what Lord of the Rings Online is. That's exactly what Lord of the Rings Online is.
I'll have to take
And
your
the game
word
is
for it.
doing fine. It's free to play. It's doing well. It's getting like
It is doing
massive
well.
updates still.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
like
understand why they're making the same
expansions
game
all the
again.
time. It's Amazon that no one said they knew what they were doing. They've had like one game that did all right, and then they've kind of that's it. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, is an MMO really the thing? I guess maybe that has like global appeal. I
I'm sorry,
suppose.
just so only boomers have 3 hours to watch anything. I went to the movies. I went to the movies and I watched the 4 hour 10 minute version of Return of the King not so long ago. So
Was there an intermission?
no, don't need an intermission. Come on.
No, you just eat some salty food and you're good to go.
Oh God,
man.
that's I can't.
I had a
In a
great
bottle.
time.
It still weirds me out that Embracer Group owns Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
That's just so weird. That continues to be so
Bring
weird.
back the Lord of the Rings stage production.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Alex Boniello, get on it.
Alex
we've
Boniello
got
as
two
Gollum.
asks for you this episode.
Alex Boniello
Yeah.
would definitely be an elf, right? Like an
Yeah.
elf. He's
He would be an
elfish.
elf, but I think he has like, I don't know. He could be Frodo.
He could be
Nice.
Frodo.
He's got
Oh,
leading
hell
man.
yeah,
I
he
think-
could
I
be
think he'd be
Frodo.
He would be a great Frodo.
I think I
But-
could be a Samwise. I'm gonna go.
You
out for
would
the
be a
part,
good
everybody.
Samwise.
Thank you
I
very
mean,
much.
there's only 2 women in Lord of the Rings, so my options are limited.
What's
3
Liv
if you could-
Tyler?
You could be
Goldberry.
Liv Tyler.
Yeah, Liv
I don't know
Tyler.
what her name is in the
Wait.
movie.
It's like
Arwen.
Alwyn or something.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Is
yeah.
it?
Arwen.
Oh, it's all the same shit.
You would be Jeff. You would be Knob.
What? Is that a British joke about a dick,
Pretty
or
sure
is
that's
it?
just, I'm pretty sure it's just British
No.
for penis.
Who's
I mean,
Knob?
it is, but Knob is in he's Barlam and Butterbear's.
What?
like-
Stop making up words.
no, he's.
Are these elements? Are you reading elements off the periodic table, or is this
No,
Lord of the
Knob-
Rings character?
Knob works in the Prancing Pony. I think he's a Hobbit. I'm pretty sure he's a Hobbit.
Is it in one of
That'd be you.
the main movies? Because that's the only thing I've ingested of Lord of the Rings.
No, he's not. I'm afraid he was
No.
cut.
Ooh, me
Well,
next,
I played,
me next, me
and I
next.
played the one good game. I played the one good game they made.
What was that?
The first, enforcer system. What was it called? Shadows of Mordor.
Enforcer system, Nemesis system.
Does it matter? Does it matter? Okay, you knew
According
what
to
I
this
meant.
website, it mattered really.
Nah.
It really,
That was a
really
great game.
mattered.
I played that to
Yeah,
completion.
that was good.
It ruled.
Oh,
The
yeah,
next one was not good. And
I
that
like
was that.
the
Sexy
Return of the King game for
Sheila.
Game Boy Advance. It was a good Diablo.
Oh, that was
clone.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
well, hang on. Do you know my favorite factoid is the
Yeah,
Two
when you
Towers
kicked
and
the
Return of
helmet,
the
he broke
King.
his toe.
Yeah, no. But no, Two Towers and Return of the King were made by the team who would eventually go on and make Dead Space.
Oh, that man,
Interesting.
yeah,
Steve
okay.
Boustis and Glenn Schofield.
yeah, Glenn
and all that lot.
Schofield. Okay, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was Game of
But
the Year
also,
for
if you
Giant
want
Bomb
some, if you want
2014?
some really good Lord of the Rings facts, the guy who did all of the prosthetics for the Hobbit's feet, his surname was Foot.
Oh man, proud feet for sure.
Yeah.
Foot. No E.
Mhm.
All right, let's get out of the Hobbit hole here.
Help us.
I think my virginity just grew back.
Yes, seriously.
Sega is
Clip it.
probably going to raise its game prices to $70. Sega Sammy CEO Haruki Sadomi and CFO Koichi Fukuzawa, I got there eventually, addressed the possibility in a meeting with investors. He said, in the global marketplace, AAA game titles for console have been sold at $60 for many years, but titles sold at $70 have appeared in the last year. We would like to review the prices of titles that we believe are commensurate with price increases, while also keeping an eye on market conditions. So the next Sonic game is going to be $70. What have we done to deserve this?
Sonic's worth 70.
Well, like a Yakuza game, yeah, 70.
I would pay
Yeah, that's
70
definitely
for
true.
Yakuza. I wouldn't. I don't. Yeah. I mean,
That's
you
right.
know how much I love my boy.
The next Like a Dragon game is probably going to be 70, and that seems fair.
Yeah.
Especially if it encourages them to keep doing those games, because yeah, they've been really hitting it for them.
$70 C, man. All right.
All right.
Man, listen. If you want it cheaper, I know a place on the street to get you some C-Man. Somehow Ubisoft is still doing NFTs. This time Ubisoft has licensed Assassin's Creed for NFTs. They call them the Assassin's Creed Smart Collectibles line, and it features character images from throughout the series. If you own the NFT, you can then request it to be printed or 3D printed, I guess. What is any of this? It's like, if you own it, if you own it, don't you own it, and you could do whatever you want with it? Isn't that the idea? Like, you own the IP or whatever. No, they're probably going to give you the IP to Ezio. I don't think.
I bet you I can convince more people to spend money on podcast points than Ubisoft will on whatever NFTs.
Podcast points hold so much more real world value.
I will.
NFTs nuts.
There we
Yeah,
go.
exactly.
I will go to Summer Games Fest. I'll take appointments with developers that I'm not equipped to interview anyone for that matter. I'll just whatever ones we don't want to take, I'll take them and I'll pitch them like, hey, have you thought about putting your game and incorporating podcast points.
I love
into this.
the idea of you just having like a little station, like you're at a like a fair or something, and you're hawking your wares, and your wares are podcast points to be integrated into your video games.
That's it.
That is, again, more ambitious than what this is. Remember when NFTs were going to be like, you could take your sword with you from game to game?
Yeah.
And now they're just like, I don't know. It's a picture of Ezio, and if you want, we'll sell you a doll that looks
Hey,
like the thing you bought.
You
It's
can,
like,
you can
okay.
write how many podcast points you have on a post-it note and then put that post-it note in your pocket. And then when you forget about it and you find it again, you're like, oh, wow, I got 32 podcast points.
Dude,
gonna start doing
podcast
that.
points have so much more legitimacy than any NFT in the entire world at this point. How hard was that
Truly.
PR? It was not hard at all. I cannot believe in 2023, with the amount of like toxic residue that NFTs have accumulated over the last 2 years, that these freaks are like, yo, here, we're still doing this. This is our thing. It boggles the mind. What is happening?
It is truly bizarre. Because they're
How
not even
bizarre.
really trying. How bizarre, indeed. They're not even really actually doing anything with it. It's just they keep saying the phrase NFTs and then selling you something, and it's like, don't you guys realize it's completely lost its luster? And they don't
Unreal.
realize it.
Unreal.
Meanwhile, here's some wild stuff happening with Assassin's Creed. This one actually is like hard for me to wrap my mind around a little bit, some of these numbers, but Ubisoft is going to go ham on Assassin's Creed more so than they already have. You're like, how is that possible, Jeff? Haven't they already been going ham? I picked up these tweets from Stephen. God, no, I'm not gonna, from Kotaku.
Totilo?
Totillo.
Stephen Totillo, thank you so much. That was just a brain fart. He tweeted the following: Ubisoft says it will increase the number of developers on the Assassin's Creed franchise by 40% to fuel its ambitious expansion. The company headcount is down from 20,700 in September to below 20,000 now, thanks to office closures, layoffs, and tight control on recruitments. So the increase in developers on Assassin's Creed will come from a reallocation of developers working on other projects, according to CEO Yves Guillemot. So they have ambitious like ideas about where they want to take Assassin's Creed, but they're not going to hire anyone new. I bet that's really great for morale over there at Ubisoft.
Yeah.
They already have 2,000 people working on Assassin's Creed today. 2,000 people, and they want to have 2,800 working on Assassin's Creed. And does that sound, to me, that just sounds so unsustainable that that's where we're at. Now, I know like there are games that have had that many people. I guess Modern Warfare 2 had like somewhere around 3,000
Wow.
people working on that game. The next Assassin's Creed is probably not going to sell like a Modern Warfare 2 did. And who know, like they're trying to make them these live service prongs of Assassin's Creed Infinite. And how is that going to work? Well, they're betting big on it. But that number, I mean, is that shocking to anybody else? That 2,800 people on one game franchise?
That's
It's
too many
insane.
people.
That's too many people. But also, like, yeah, like you said, great for morale as they're laying people off. Didn't they just shut down like 5 offices over in Europe?
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean, I don't know. Like, I obviously want them to succeed because, you know, I really enjoy Assassin's Creed. I'm like
Yeah.
intrigued about fucking Prince of Persia, if that game still exists, Beyond Good and Evil 2, if that game still exists. But man, weird.
Yep. Now they are
Weird. Seeing them go for like the highs of like, you know, 2007 through to, I don't know. When would you say the drop off started?
Oh, God, I can't even think of the drop.
I mean, it's had its
Right?
ups and downs, right? There was
Yeah.
definitely the drops with Unity was a big one, but then they bounced back. Well, they bounced back with a good
Yeah.
game that then really didn't do very well. What was the London one?
Oh, Syndicate. That was one of my faves. I
Right, it's a
loved
very good
Syndicate.
game, but it didn't sell very well because
Yeah,
it was
didn't.
paying for the crimes of Unity. Then it
Mhm.
bounced back a little bit. Then it had a big pop when they went with the RPG style for a little bit, and then some people were like, "Actually, I like the old
Mhm.
style." So now they have Mirage, which is going to be that previous style of Assassin's Creed. They're working on a lot of Assassin's Creed games, so they do need a lot of people. But it still feels like all your eggs in one basket thing in a similar strategy to what Activision did with Call of Duty. And Call of Duty is something that did work, and they were able to like turn it into all these different prongs of here's Call of Duty and here's Call of Duty Mobile, and here's the Battle Royale game, and all these things are succeeding. And now everyone's working on Call of Duty, and they don't have anyone working on anything else, and they've sort of tapped out Call of Duty. And now Activision
Mhm.
has no real pathway forward. This is a big problem for them. One of the reasons that they're selling to Microsoft. Ubisoft seems to be just saying, yeah, we're going to do that too. We're going to put all our eggs in the Assassin's Creed basket. We spent years trying to make like sort of the other thing other than Assassin's Creed. It was going to be Watch Dogs. It was going to be maybe some of these Tom Clancy games. And there's been missteps with the Tom Clancy games. Watch Dogs never really took off. So here we are. We're going back to Assassin's Creed. That's the thing people like. We're just going to put all our money into that. I say that they do have AC Mirage, Avatar, Rainbow Six Mobile, Division Resurgence, Skull and Bones. They make stuff like The Crew Motorfest is coming. X Defiant is a game that a lot of people seem excited about, even though I don't get it. And then they promised to have another large game by the end of March 2024. So they do have a lot of stuff in the works, but it just feels like this company is making a big bet on Assassin's Creed in a way that, I don't know, it seems dangerous, but maybe that's just what gaming is right now.
Have they put any eggs in the Siege basket in a while?
They Rainbow Six Mobile is probably the thing there, right? That is Siege just for mobile. It's definitely like completely reworked for mobile. Siege is one that like has grown. It grew and grew and grew. It turned into its own thing. It was a huge money maker for them. It does seem to be in the it's like it's no longer waxing. It's begun waning a little bit, and it's I think it's on the other side of that hump. And I don't know if they plan to try to reinvigorate Siege, or maybe they plan a Siege 2 at some point. I don't know. That's a tough one because that is a live service game. It still has a ton of players, but it's not like it's making as much money as it once was.
Mm.
And yeah, Extraction just came and went. That's right.
Yeah, real flash in the pan.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit these last few stories. Steam is getting 90-minute trials. These are not demos. These are game trials, which means you get the full game and you could try it for a limited amount of time. That being 90 minutes. This is starting with Dead Space. I like this. Do you guys like Bacalar, Jen? Have you guys ever used the game trials for like Xbox game or EA Play did that for a while, and PlayStation the top tier does that. Have you guys ever thought about using that?
No, because I kind of just would pop something in Steam and be like, I try this for like 10, 30 minutes. Gonna try and return it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Steam's refund policy is really good. So
Yeah.
but that's the thing. I typically, even if I don't necessarily jive with the game too much, I tend to keep it. But there's only really some games that I've gone, woof, yeah, I'm never gonna boot this up again. So
Right. But Lucy, like exactly to that point, like they have the refund policy. And that in that case, like they did already get the money.
It's 2 hours, right?
Right, and it's 2 hours, and they already got the money. And it's like, does this does the 90-minute trial that's free, does that encourage more people to buy, or does that or does it actually make less money? Because when the people had to buy it to get that 2 hours, sometimes they're just like, forget it, I'll just keep it. That's weird.
I mean, psychologically, you're just offering the same thing to people, but you are psychologically doing it 2 different ways.
Exactly. So
it's
completely agree.
Smart.
It's any opportunity to close the gap between converting someone is like what the entire business is all about. So and which one leads to more purchases, I'm not sure, but I do think there is something to be said about trying the game, right? Where you're again, it's anecdotal, but I could see myself after 90 minutes there's a bit of that carrot dangling there. If because you'll probably know in the first 90 minutes of a game whether or not you're in it or you're not. And that a bit of that, paywalling is probably the right brain, reaction, the right chemistry there where you're sort of like, all right, this is enough.
The right dark patterns. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know if it's dark patterns, but but dark patterns adjacent, perhaps. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely in the same species. Saudi Arabia has increased its stake in Electronic Arts. Previously, Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, or PIF, held 16.01 million shares in EA. It now owns 24.81 million, which is a 55% increase. This has happened a lot. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund has made investments in Nintendo and Capcom and SNK and a whole bunch of stuff, and they own a significant percentage in a company like Nintendo to the point where it can almost demand a board seat. The threat here continues to be what influence does Saudi Arabia exert on any of these companies, and so far that has not manifested in any real way. The other threat is a sort of an authoritarian regime is getting more money as we buy more things from these companies that they have investments in. But that's capitalism, and that always feels like a rough. Like, what do we do about that? And if you want to, of course, if anyone wants to like stop supporting these companies because they're part of they're increasing the value of the shares that Saudi Arabia has, that's completely fair. But it's like, man, that's everything. That's already good gas. So there you go. If you buy gas, there you go. You're contributing to that. But still, it feels okay. Well, is this going to have any sort of manifested reaction in the games that we actually play in a similar way that like China has exerted some control on games and as forced developers to rework what they're actually going to create? Because at a certain point, you do become the average of the things that you're interacting with, the people you interact with, and if Saudi Arabia is exerting any presence there, they're going to have that effect. But do you guys share that concern, or is that something that maybe that isn't going to be real, and maybe even Saudi Arabia doesn't want to exert? They just actually are interested in the video game industry.
I don't know, dog. It feels like one of those.
How to think.
Well, it feels like one of those things where it's like, yo, we got hella money. How are we going to spend some of this money? And not necessarily of like, this is going to be a wise investment. This is just an investment.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely want to diversify their economy. Video games, they've definitely marked down video games as a big way of doing that. If that is the plan, does that mean using some of these investments and some of this influence to bring studios to Saudi Arabia? It seems like that's the long-term goal there, but what does that actually end up looking like, and how do they force these companies to actually go through with that? It's a big question still. But I think the long term, this stuff could have an effect on what games look like, and whether or not that's some major problem or not, it remains to be seen.
It's probably and most likely is a whole audience that we are completely out of sync with that exists there, that perhaps they would like to have some homegrown talent in studios, like you said, Grub, popping off.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like if it works out that way, hopefully it's additive, right? Hopefully it just adds to the kinds of games that we're getting, and that can be beneficial. But they Saudi Arabia did just ban Final Fantasy 16, and the word on the street is it's because there's a gay relationship in there.
Hot.
And it's like, yeah, exactly. We want more of that. We don't want less of that. And it's like, does Saudi Arabia have the potential to exert that control to stop that before it even gets to the point where they're submitting it to Saudi Arabian regulators? It's like, well, no, we're actually a big funder. We're a big part of the ownership here, and we're just going to stop it here. That it's not really how investments work, not typically, but if they can get a board seat, maybe they could exert that influence. And if you have a lot of shares in a company, they listen to you. They do listen to you, and that you can make a company sweat. If you say, I'm going to sell, and I'll sell at a low price, and I'll drive your stock price down, that stuff can have an effect. All right, last couple stories. Mortal Kombat 1 is a reboot again, at least according to the reporting, and based on some of the teasing that NetherRealm has done. Ed Boon, the co-creator of the iconic fighting franchise Mortal Kombat, has released a teaser for the next entry in the series. This was followed up by a leak from Twitter user Bill Kuhn, stating this game will be called Mortal Kombat 1, and it will be launching on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC. Mortal Kombat 1 is targeting a September 2023 launch window, according to some of the reporting, although plans may be in flux. I think people over at Windows Central, they heard that MK1 Characters Pass will feature various properties owned by Warner Brothers, including Peacemaker and from the DC universe, and possibly even Homelander from the comic book series. There's been sort of more happening with this, where it does seem like this is going to get announced pretty soon. I like the sound of a lot of this stuff. I know they've rebooted the franchise before, but Mortal Kombat is one of those fighting game series where the story is super important. I think if they can do some fun stuff with that while also rebooting it at the same time, so we can have these like fun characters from the 90s that the modern characters are interacting with, I think that could be really cool. I don't know, how's that sound to you all, though?
I'm into it.
Yeah,
I'm not a fighting game person, but Homelander and Peacemaker would be super cool.
That'd be fun. I think that's a good fit. Yes, and those are Warner Brothers characters, right? Yeah, because
DC.
Yeah.
Well, no,
right.
The Boys is
I think we decided
if it's the comic,
yeah,
is that Vertigo?
Vertigo, and that is DC, right?
Yeah.
Yes. and again that would fall under there as well. So maybe it doesn't look like the boy's character from the TV show, maybe it does. Who knows? Let's see here. Finally, AEW Fight Forever's achievements was published on at the Xbox Store. We still don't know a lot about this game. Like, we don't know the full roster. We do not have a launch date. But suddenly, out of nowhere, the game's achievement list popped up on the store and was live for people to view. And that feels like one more step towards this thing actually coming out. This was originally slated for late last year. Obviously, that didn't happen. But it seems like something that could fit at like a summer game fest. Does that sound right to you guys?
All right. Here's me spitballing here because I know the type of person Tony
Shoot.
Khan is. I'm gonna shoot on Tony Khan, everyone. This is one for the dirt sheets. I think Tony Khan is so much of a CM Punk fucking mark that he was so swept up on wanting CM Punk on the cover of his video game that he wanted to wait for CM Punk to come back so he could put him back on the fucking cover.
I like it. I like that.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I have to trust you. So
No, that's. I think you cracked the case. You cracked the case.
Yeah.
That's exact.
Sounds good to me.
Knowing what we know about Tony Khan, that sounds completely plausible. The way that these ways of CM Punk nerd for sure. I do have a list of Summer Game Mess events that I thought maybe we can go over one more time, but we was going to do it last week and we didn't get a chance to do it. So just a reminder: Summer Game Fest is June 8th. Stuff will be starting kind of midday around then. The Devolver Direct is also happening on June 8th. I Am 8-Bit is having something that day. The next day, there's the Accessibility Showcase on June 9th. Those days, there will also be the play days for Summer Game Fest, but that's like closed. That's invite only. Future Game Show is on June 11th, I believe. And then PC Gaming Show is on June 11th as well. And then Final Fantasy 16 is going to have its like big blowout thing on June 11th as well. And then later that morning, Xbox and Bethesda Showcase is June 11th. The Starfield Direct will be immediately after that. And then Ubisoft Forward June 12th after that. So, yeah.
A lot going on. Busy weekend.
It's going to be busy. It's going to be jam-packed. I'll say, I've been putting together the couch for our Giant Bomb at Night stuff. And there's going to be a lot of people there. A lot of people are coming to town. I've been very happy with the response for that. So a lot to look forward to. It's going to be a good time.
Hey, I had a great time hanging out with Lucy, Tam, and Richard last year at Summer Game Fest. I'm convinced at Summer Game Fest, nothing bad can happen.
Nothing bad can happen at a Summer Game Fest.
I don't think anything bad can happen there either.
Let's fucking go. All right, Jan, this is your show once again. Thanks for letting me talk about the news.
Well, I'm gonna look at this news and I'm gonna realize it needs to cool off. It's getting a little hot in here. We're just gonna stick it in the freezer. We'll wrap a cold and wet paper towel around it and then put it in the freezer. It'll cool your drink a little bit faster, folks. And then we'll see you on the other side of this break.
Yo, it's always been a top priority, but lately your boy is looking to stay hydrated. With Liquid IV, not only do I get 2 times faster the hydration than water alone, I also get 5 essential vitamins. Perfect for any time during the day when I need a little lift. I love Liquid IV, y'all. It's helped me in a pinch, and with all the traveling for work and vacations popping up because of the summer, I need Liquid IV. The immunity line of Liquid IV has helped me feel in tip-top shape all the time. You got a whole host of flavors, but I'm a sucker for the tropical punch too, y'all. In 1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water, it hydrates you faster than water alone. You've also got B3, B5, B6, B12, and vitamin C in there. That's more Bs than I knew there were. I didn't know that we could consume that many Bs. That's amazing. Grab your Liquid IV in bulk nationwide at Costco, or you can get 20% off your order when you go to liquidiv.com and use code BOMBCAST at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code BOMBCAST at liquidiv.com.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address to send your emails to, and I have just come to the realization that if we were ever at a murder mystery, I guess Mike Minotti would have to solve the crime.
Yeah, he'd definitely be our
I wouldn't say he's going to be our Benoit Blanc, but he's going to like Mr. Magoo.
Yeah,
and like
Like
monk
a-
his
Definitely
way.
Mr. Magoo. Yeah.
it's like a big old cup. You
He's
know,
gonna like Columbo his way. Yeah, okay, there we go. He's watched Columbo.
Just one more thing.
Oh yeah, a lot of Columbo.
He's gonna Columbo his way, and then it's gonna be like he's gonna solve the crime with a pair of Mickey ears.
right? Just
And-
a
and
cup
he's
with
Italian.
Mickey
and
ears.
the tattoo from
Yeah, he's gonna look at the sleeve, and then it's gonna do like the prison break thing where like patterns in it are just gonna rise up. And like, oh, I see the crime, or I see the patterns. I know how to solve the crime.
it's the Fibonacci sequence. How didn't I see it this whole time?
I don't know what it is, but only recently, like I just can't picture Mike without just laughing. Like something is just.
Is it him with the RoboCop mask on his nose, squishing it down?
I think it's that. Like
There was a picture on Twitter, someone of like me talking like about how much I really liked the game, and I was being very sincere. And then right to the right of me is Mike Minotti with that RoboCop mask on, and it's just his nose is looking all smushed like he's a freak.
it's everything.
Aw.
It's just the first. I think the first whoever did the Master Shake thing really opened up my eyes in a way that not that I wasn't appreciating Minotti, before that
But you weren't.
comparison. But it unlocks something in me that now I cannot approach
away.
him or think of him with. And the poop slamma jamma thing, I also was just like,
Which is definitely him.
he's without a doubt doing a terrible job at misdirecting who's responsible for the poop in the hand situation. My God, sorry.
I just imagine Mike Minotti in like an old school like 60s sitcom like I Love Lucy, but it's just him and him talking to himself. Anyway, let's read some emails because we got a bunch of them. Oh, well, there you go. Look at that.
I'm gonna remake this, but put Mike's face
Wow.
on everyone.
Oh,
There you go.
hell
Oh my
yeah.
I got that from the nice man at the hardware store. He gave it
Aw.
to me for free.
That's pretty sick.
That's a good deal.
I'm assuming he knew
Yeah.
your name was Lucy.
Yeah, because I had to borrow a cork gun.
All right.
Sorry, cork.
Cool. Yeah, there you
Gun.
go. See, there it is. It's like cool.
There it is.
Cork gun.
This one
And I
comes
had to take
from-
it
Walk
back
of the walk.
like, your name.
Cock of the week. This one comes from Bobby Jimmy from Tucson, Arizona. Hey, Bomb crew. I had a dream about you guys. It started out with Jan, Grub, and Dan leaving Giant Bomb to start the Cuckoo Kachoo podcast, where you guys talk about coffee, video game news, TV, and anything else. Well, Jeff was left mothballing Giant Bomb into an archive. After that, I ran my dream car into a billionaire car and ran away and woke up. P.S. Jan, have you tried the One Piece card game? Any thoughts? Signed, Bobby Jimmy, Tucson, Arizona.
Thanks, Bobby Jimmy.
What a fever dream of a dream. That's how you know it was an actual dream because of the sequence of events it rolled out in.
Yes.
Yep.
We already do all of that.
Yeah.
Everyone lets me talk about coffee. It's cool.
Yeah, we talk about 24 every week on this show now. So
Yeah, here's your 24 check. Grub,
Yeah.
what season? What episode?
I'm still on the first season, about halfway through, and these characters are real dumb, and I love
So
it.
Stupid.
They all just make dumb choices constantly. It is real fun to watch like Jack Bauer get ready to torture someone, and how much they're like the show is just so horny for that. They're like, oh boy, you guys are gonna like this. He's gonna hurt somebody real bad.
Yep.
It's a good time.
It was a good time for torture on television on 24.
Yes,
was it
big
not?
time
Yeah.
for the early 2000s. Absolutely.
Yes.
And
Lost had a lot of it too, actually, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that I decided to embark on my Adam Sandler quest, I've recently decided I'm gonna watch every single Paul Giamatti movie.
Oh, that's cool. I love. Wait, have you watched American Splendor?
No, I watched
Great flick.
Sideways recently, and I'm like, oh wow, damn, shit. I didn't expect to see
right.
that
That
guy's
was the
ass.
wine movie, right?
The wine movie.
You always got to expect what's his name's
Wait,
ass. Man, I
have
can't
you-
remember his name.
Have you seen Private Parts yet?
No. I'm not going in
Is it
chronological
a movie
order.
or is that like
Have you ever seen anyone's private parts?
Have
everyone
Jan?
seen
No,
No,
anyone's
I'm a
bits?
good Catholic boy. I
He's
haven't
never
yet.
sinned.
Uh,
He's very, very funny in Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie. Yeah.
He did a series for John Adams? Like John Adams?
Yes.
John Adams?
Oh,
It
yeah,
rules.
dude.
I watched that like 4 times. I
Dude,
love
that's
that shit.
why I have such a problem with these Verizon commercials. Not only are they just like so bad, like even from like the lowest bar,
They are
like
really bad.
They're so and such a waste of talent across the board. And they make poor fucking Paul Giamatti like dressed like Einstein, and they're just like, this is a commercial.
Yeah,
What the fuck?
and those were like Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
Hey, what the fuck happened to commercials? They're
the
not even
fuck?
trying. It's just like, hey, there's a celebrity, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
all they're doing now. And it's what's his name from the late night talk show and Cicely
Seth
Strong.
Myers and
Seth
Seth,
Myers
like
and Cicely
they're
Strong and
so
stuff.
Oh, like Cicely
unwatchably
Strong.
horrific.
And they're just like, you're bragging. Oh no, I'm talking to the King of England. What
I mean,
the fuck are you
I
talking
don't
about?
blame. I honestly, I can't blame the talent, right? Like,
no, they're
if-
just cashing checks.
right. It's just like, oh, how does? Oh God, I just and they and
Bradley
they're.
Cooper in like 3 different trailers of the Super Bowl this year, like
I
for
don't
3
know.
different things. Like,
But
why?
they sandwich
love
those
B.
commercials
Coops.
too. You know what I mean? Where they'll like
Mhm.
they'll run that
He's fine.
fucking Verizon thing, then they'll do something else, and then the Verizon one comes right back after, and you're just like, oh.
Yep,
Give me
they're
the
not even trying.
emu. Give me the insurance emu. I'll watch that.
I like, yeah, absolutely. I love the
You know?
insurance emu.
What the fuck brand that is?
Next email is about Ohio.
Emu.
Hey, Bomb Crew. I am in Canton, Ohio for 3 weeks for a work trip. For Jeff Grubb and maybe Mike Minotti, what should I be eating and seeing? JT from Rockford, Illinois, sent from my iPhone with love.
Aw.
Yeah, I've not been out to Canton myself. My wife just got a job that has offices out there, and she's been out there a couple times, although she's mostly remote. But if they have a Melt, go try that. Go Melt is a really good grilled cheese place, a gourmet grilled cheese place from the Cleveland area.
Wait, we have that here.
We have
Yeah,
that
they
as
It's the
well.
same one?
It's almost certainly, yeah, because they've begun
Hell
like
yeah.
spreading out. But they got like really good grilled cheeses that have all kinds of stuff on them. If that's the case, then that's Melt, and that's from the Cleveland area. And I think probably have one in Canton, almost certainly, and it's very good. And it's it's a go-to place for a reason. It's like that's like you kind of Cleveland 101 at this point, but definitely you should check it out if you haven't. It does live up to the billing. Yeah, Melt Bar and Grill. That's exactly what it is. Thank you, Marino.
God, I could go for a grilled cheese right now.
Ooh.
I was just thinking that.
You put bacon in there?
Yeah, I'll
they
put some
put-
bacon in there.
Put
Onions?
a lot of stuff in there.
Oh, red.
No.
I'll put onions in any and everything, man.
Me too.
I'm lazy. I'm just it's the cheese, the bread, the butter for me. Like get it in.
Well, what
and
about
the
a mayo?
and the lactate, of course.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I did get some Kewpie because I
Oh.
made Japanese 7-Eleven egg sandos a couple weeks ago.
Mm,
Hmm.
mm, mm.
That was
Oh
just
God, I might make some of those. Oh.
a sentence.
That makes me feel bonita.
I mean, before a
Good
grilled
because you are Bonita. Sorry,
Nice.
Family Guy.
before a grilled cheese like that, Lucy, that's how much lactate are we talking? Just
Cheddar, I'm okay with as long
Yeah.
as there's no brie or a
Yeah.
softer cheese. Then I'm
Yeah.
good.
Are
I did have
we?
some plant-based feta the other day, and that was
Ooh.
great.
Hmm.
Are we ready
Genuinely
for
really
a
good.
world where Gen Z will mobilize and get really,
No.
really behind Family Guy?
They're trying on TikTok, dude.
I mean,
I think I'm
TikTok
okay.
is like
Yeah.
giving Family Guy another slice of life. I don't know.
I was that
Slice of
wouldn't be
life, bit of
They,
life.
they got that because the first time was Adult Swim. The show got canceled,
Right.
and then Adult Swim
Mhm.
turned it into
Picked
like
it
a
up.
phenomenon. We were all it's like, what else were we like? The internet was not the way it is now, so it's like I'm gonna go spend 8 hours watching something on the internet. That wasn't an option. We're all still gonna watch Adult
Oh.
Swim on cable, and Family Guy like was huge then, and then they made a million
Yeah.
seasons since that time. I wouldn't be surprised if it has another go around and Gen Z gets on board. Sure, why not? Or will they'll
Well-
be big into to American Dad maybe. Maybe
Oh,
that's their show
gosh.
instead.
I
Well,
always was.
apparently, they've quit because of the writers' strike.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I was always surprised with how well American Dads seem to do.
Yeah, they're still making new ones of those, right? I think it's like going
Making-
directly to TBS or something, but they are
Oh.
still making it.
Guys, don't forget Futurama's back
Yeah,
on
Again?
the summer.
Really? I didn't
Is
know
this the
that.
on
Fourth
Hulu,
time
right?
now? Yeah.
I've never really actually honestly watched Futurama, and I think that's a personal failing. Is there like a go-to, or should I just go watch from the beginning and I'll be good?
There's a lot of it. I don't know.
There's not that much of it.
What aren't there like?
Futurama holds up. exceptionally well. I have a list of episodes that I can give you.
Okay,
like
that's
definitely
incredible. Yes, please.
like definitely the opening couple of episodes, but then like the Beastie Boys one, the Beck one, Amazonian Women in the Mood, Women No Can Dunk, but they have good fundamentals. The Mother's Day one, Harlem Globetrotters one. Like there's so many.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in. That'll be my other workout show other than 24.
Yeah. Oh, and actually, I will emotionally destroy you and make you watch the dog one and the Devil's Hands Idol Plaything.
Okay, that sounds great. I'd love to be emotionally destroyed.
Man, now do I gotta watch Futurama all over again?
Yeah, you do.
Let's go.
Folks, please send in your recommendations to what will emotionally destroy me. I could use a good use a good weeping, you know? All right.
The Leftovers finale.
Okay, I couldn't get into the first episode, but I've heard you and Tam talk about Leftovers a lot.
People love The Leftovers eventually, is what it always sounded like. Eventually they like fell in love with it.
Yeah,
all right.
It's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, please send recommendations to emotionally destroy me. I fucking need it. Inject that shit into my veins. Next email comes from Alex in Bendigo, Australia. Evening Bombers. I think Redfall is better than Atomic Heart. That's not saying much though, as I hated Atomic Heart. And if you have some ice cold takes that have literally zero stakes to them, cheers, Alex in Bendigo, Australia. Sent from a Hotmail address.
That's a really good question about the takes that mean nothing.
Yeah.
So I thought about this though. If we could just address the notion raised at the top here.
Yeah, please.
Because I was among a minority of people who kind of really dug some of the Atomic Heart stuff. I think Atomic Heart is like without a doubt a better game. It's just from the point of view simply because it's just more interesting. It just has like a cooler sort of setting and a more interesting. However, or not it fails.
It's like better to look at.
Yeah,
and like Redfall is just not even fun to look at.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think like I could see myself going back to Atomic Heart at some point after I got through the open world stuff and made it back into the more linear part of that game. For sure. Whereas Redfall, it'll never ever probably be played again by myself. But inherently it's just more interesting. It just has even if it doesn't stick the landing for what it attempts to do narratively, it's just more interesting. And therefore, perhaps maybe more important.
The importance scale, the jump back importance scale.
It returns again. But these ice cold takes that mean nothing. Oh, that's a good question.
I think I mostly just have ones
that mean nothing.
I think I have ones that mostly like, oh yeah, everyone just agrees with that, Jeff. It's like, oh, columns was an embarrassing thing to try to make happen on the Game Gear compared to Tetris on the Game Boy. Like, yeah, like of course, columns did just actually suck. Like, it's not nearly as fun. I don't know. Like even like Puyo, like I'm still stuck in a puzzle game mood for some reason. Like Puyo Tetris, or Puyo Puyo might actually be better than Tetris. That sort of stuff. It's like, yeah. I think people can kind of get that too. I don't know.
Soul Calibur is a good fighting game.
Yeah.
I can't believe you said that.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah.
Jacob is the worst Mass Effect 2 squad mate.
Wow,
but
Lucy.
His level has the best music of the entire trilogy. So
I don't remember the music. I'd have to hear it again. But I trust you.
These are tough to do.
These are really tough to do.
Battleborn greater than Overwatch, and that's from chat. That's
wow.
Shut up, chat.
That's just an actual hot Looter Jennings. An actual hot take.
It's like shitting on Forspoken. It's just like
there are points.
You know what?
Okay.
What's that?
I like the DualSense 4 better than the
Xbox Elite 2?
No. Oh no, absolutely not. I like the DualSense 4 more than I like the DualShock 4 more than I like the DualSense.
Oh, but that means something. That's like,
well, one of them doesn't give me crippling repetitive strain injury. So
really?
The DualSense hurt my hands real bad.
DualSense fucking kills me, man. I can't play on PlayStation for like extended time. Like
what is
genuinely,
it?
I have
What is it?
It's too cramped. Like it's too small, and my hands just like cannot. Yeah.
The under ridge of the DualSense is also kind of sharp, and I was like resting my finger on it. And this is me playing way too much of Astro, but like that really, really, really fucked up my finger to the point where I could not touch it, and or else I'd have shooting pain. And like I've never had that with a controller. I've had like I played 80 hours of Dead Cells in a week on the Switch, and the Switch is cramped, and that hurt. But just like actually having the controller like dig into me and damage me, like that was new.
That's
The
interesting.
Elite Series 2 and the Switch Pro controller, perfect for me. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of spacing, in terms of, like, not giving me huge amounts of pain when I play. But, yeah, DualSense, I like it. Like, but it ultimately, I can't do really long gaming sessions on it.
Really?
Because it knacks my hands.
I think the Nintendo Switch has the best screenshot and clipping out of all the consoles.
Yep, I think
Yeah.
that's right.
The way that you can just, like, scan a QR code and get it on your phone. Although Xbox and PlayStation do now automatically upload it to the app, and you can't just get it.
Yeah, and you
Okay.
could always like
Yeah.
xboxdvr.com or whatever it was. It's like all my
Yeah.
stuff just magically appears there. So, but no, I like
in
the
the app.
Switch. I like the Switch service really well. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. If I were to look at all
Um,
my screenshots now, it's all of a certain character from Tears of the Kingdom.
Wow,
Rauru.
Jen, and they're all in
You know-
Photoshop, getting worked on.
You know what?
Ruh-roh.
The Wii perfected like background music and sound effects, and I don't think the Switch is as good.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think we lost something as a society when they stopped the Wii Shop music.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
we
Amen,
really need
sister.
Wii
That's
Shop
not,
music. Absolutely.
that's not ice cold. That's perfectly lucid.
That's
A
yeah.
Lucy lucid is what that is.
All right. One last email here.
Ooh.
And this comes from Jordan from California. Hey guys, after high school, my group of friends all got busy with our own lives and fell out of contact. One of our buddies
Happens.
recently passed away, and at his funeral,
Oh.
we made the commitment to stay in touch. I want to start a regular gaming night with them so that we can play games like the old days and catch up more often. I was wondering if you all had any recommendations of games that would be good for this that can support 5 or more players. Thanks for all you do. Best, Jordan from California. First, condolences for your loss, good sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
My immediate
Sorry for your
recommendation,
loss.
For sure.
something like Minecraft.
I was gonna say Minecraft.
I was gonna. Well, so the thing is that we don't know what the level of familiarity of gaming is. So I think Minecraft is pretty good, because you can kind of all learn and grow and build together. But like something like Among Us is obviously pretty easy. You can get way more people in there. But Minecraft, I know a bunch of people, like Mike Rougeau, who used to work for GameSpot. He and like a bunch of folks have this insane Minecraft server. They had at one point they had mega corporations that had big buildings in their Minecraft server, and then at one point Mike got taken to court because his corporation was not paying tax.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And now he does PR for Minecraft. So
Oh, there you go. There you
That's
go.
yeah,
sounds
like
right.
he's
Shout out to
turned his
Mike
love
Rougeau.
into his career. Shout out to Mike Rougeau.
That's my
I
boy.
miss that boy.
Man, I listen to.
But yeah, something like that, like work on together. I mean, even I don't know if like Animal Crossing still has that appeal, or I mean, something like Valheim.
Oh, yeah.
Valheim's a good one. That's
Could
a
be
good
fun.
one of those just like working together, building something games is good. Maybe they do this already, but this is an opportunity to just start a tabletop role playing game, right? Maybe you just do a D&D night. I think I think it's like a good stand-in for it's a good way to get everyone involved and kind of build that relationship back up the way that he seemed to be describing.
Tabletop sim.
Oh,
You basically download anything.
Yeah, and use that. That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
I'd also recommend just firing up a Discord server, maybe watching a movie together.
Sure.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just
What we
goofing
used
off.
to do is we used to use there is a YouTube player where basically you make a playlist and you put everything in and everyone goes into a room and you all get the same videos synced at the same time. So sort of like Netflix watch party or something, but it would be YouTube, and we would just watch unusual meme compilations, that kind of shit, and that was always a very good time.
Tower Unite.
Yeah,
Oh,
there it
you
is.
know what?
You know,
Jan, you beautiful monster. I think you're right.
Pierre creates, and I
Right.
thought of it at the same time. I'm gonna give 5 podcast points to you, Pierre. Hey, it's a good time to goof off. You can chill. You can
Yeah.
hang out.
You could be
Go to the casino.
you could be a giant Garfield.
You could be a little Garfield.
You could be a little Jabba the Hutt.
You could be a car.
You could be a car. Yeah.
Be the car.
Okay.
Be the car.
5 to 6, folks. Oh, GTA Online.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah, that's
fine.
not
That's
bad.
good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Alternatively, hey, there's always Fortnite.
Yeah, of course.
Fork knife.
There we go.
Am I right?
There.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Just play that every night. That's good.
Oh,
Again,
hey,
like-
actually, yeah, and just constantly spam your using tilt controls.
Yep.
It never
I'm
stops being funny.
It's always funny to me.
All right, folks. Now we've gone to the part that I've started to be the most excited for and dread the most in the show. That is the shout-outs
Shouties!
section. The shout-out section is found on the living Google Doc. I ask that you don't edit it while I'm reading. So here we go.
Cut off access now. Cut off access now, because you know what's gonna
He doesn't-
happen.
he
No.
doesn't
That's what I
believe in it.
said.
No,
He's like,
no.
I can't do it.
Moral
It's
stance he's
like a
taking.
wildfire. You got to let it
God.
burn out sometimes, you know? Oh,
Anonymous
boy.
squirrel, I see you. I see you.
All right,
I
shout us out
saw-
to Jerry, everyone sick drip, Mr. Springer, Steve the Bouncer, Mushrooms actually good, E3 Couches, Building Flaming Dick Mechs and Tears of the Kingdom, Purra Jan, Hot Super Centarians, Bilbo the Cat, Lee Caravallo, Nutting Challenge, Full Beans, Alternative Milk, Jan for reading while we edit it, Normal Men, Innocent Men, Rick,
Normal Men.
aka Warp for completing his thesis. Oh, Rick, aka Warp for completing his
Hey.
thesis presentation. Cheddar cheese bagels. What will my finger do? PH won the gold medal for Mobile Legends and Sea Games. Suck it, Malaysia. Sorry. Shouts out to my fellow Siegans. Pete from Disney, but only the Kingdom Hearts version. Kendall Roy for his big shoes. Phil's coffee greater
Big
than
shoes.
Pete's coffee. Fight me. I'm gonna have
I
to
will
disagree
fucking
with
fight
you
you.
there.
Phil's is
Is,
No, come
is
on.
trash. As someone that used to work there, I got all the secrets. Excalibang Assemble, Kermit the Frog voice. I hurt myself today. Slappy Steaks. Steven did indeed 7 did
Dude,
indeed
people-
8-9.
Steven.
Went to the Penis Museum and finally witnessed Jonah Falcon's big, plumpy, juicy, delicious fat cock, 9 inches flaccid, by the way. Thank you for the reco,
Not okay.
Lucy, lol, Jandra
Glad you
Machoa,
enjoyed it.
Jan who posts Nintendo World videos and brings a 360 camera and then doesn't make a video 360 compatible. The Beachful viewers, Sausage Fingers, Ghost Biggie, Wendell for uniting Furies and spending money on Fortnite in 3 whole days. Short-term disability, pregnant pauses. My father, busting the Oasis, Gasolina by Daddy Yankee.
Oasis.
I lost the game. Link's vagina bones. Jan's Hobbit feeties. Lucy's
Oh my God,
4.5
it's getting
star
so much
wiki feet
longer.
rating. Stay winning queen. Tears of
Thanks.
the world. Oh, giant steaks. Buy Zelda's beer. The shoutouts are too long. Martha Stewart's Sports Illustrated cover. His Lemmings a Meep. Benda Cones. Chris Brad. The Scally Lass from the Gateshead. JK. We stand LJ.
I am not from Gateshead. I need to get that out there. I'm not from Gateshead.
How the candy coated fuck is already May. Costco Food Court Pizza. Yeah. Abby from LA for winning the real life Mario Party. The Legend of Zelda Nuts and Bolts. Banjo Kazooie Tears of the Gruntilda. That's great. The Tears of the Kingdom Butts and Nuts. Jared Noyce. Oh my God. Stop.
Yeah, they are adding more anonymous
Now the
GoPro
Mother's
songs.
Day
my
is
God.
over.
See?
When is Zaddy's Day? People who nap. Dan is a theme park guy now. Tony Hawk covering 9 Inch Nails song from 1992. Mark Sinclair,
Love
Vin
that, to
Diesel,
be fair.
Janet's too cute. Lucy's thing that grew back during the episode. What? Pura is Alpha and
What?
Omega. Mommy and Umami thinking about trash. Redfall, more like Red Fail. Mike Mitch Tolkota, Robo Mitch Minotti. Mainly cloudy with a 30% chance of showers. Period of rain beginning overnight. Gelatinous Ursine. Stop. Luther Jennings shouting out the chat. Fatboy Slim start. Go to 10. Game of the year. Please stop. Stop. My boy Columbo. And that's it for the shout outs this episode.
Oh,
We've reached the end.
Yay.
What have we got
Wow.
going on this week? God, I need to go take 5
Wow.
naps. Game Mess Mornings popping off.
That's right. We'll
Wednesday,
have
Thursday, Friday.
Four Swords Fiesta back on Wednesday.
Yes.
The Connectivity Compadres will ride again. And then we'll have Blight Club on Thursday. Should just be normal episodes this week. Just innocent episodes this week. Voicemail Dump Truck. UPF. What else we have happening?
We're recording Jeff's tomorrow, but I don't know when it's going up.
Okay.
Yeah, hopefully by Friday, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very
we
cool.
had to move it because of the Overwatch interview. A little behind
yeah.
the scenes there for
So
you.
Tam could report.
Yeah.
If you missed it this morning, the vlog of us going to Super Nintendo World is finally up. A part 2, which is kind of just some extra Lucy footage, not Lucy, but loose footage, will be popping up on the site on Thursday, I believe. I'm going to give an advance warning for the Thursday video. If you suffer from motion sickness, you may want to look away occasionally.
Sure.
Oh,
watch it in 360p.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not 360.
Just squint your eyes a lot.
Okay.
A lot of 360 camera usage there. I had a great time at Super Nintendo World, mostly because of the company.
Too. Yep, good time.
Aww.
That was a fun
Great
time,
job.
fun meal, and you did a good
Lovely.
job on the video. It's very fun. Everyone should watch it.
We should go to more theme parks. We should go to more theme parks.
Yeah.
Let's go to
Yeah.
Cedar Point. That's just down the
Can
road
we-
from me.
Can we go to the Mass Effect ride? I think it's at Six Flags.
Yeah, where is that at?
Oh, that's like Santa Clarita. That's pretty far from LA proper. So
I'll
let's
rent a car.
go.
I'll rent a
Mass-
car. We'll go.
Jan, you gonna teach me how to drive?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, just driving on the 5. It's straight.
Yeah,
Mass
we'll teach
Effect
you to
New
drive.
Earth is a theatrical motion simulator. Oh, and it's in California's Great America.
Ah,
Is
it's
that
a
Six
super
Flags?
dark ride. Okay.
Wait, that's nearby, Lucy.
Can we
that-
go?
that's-
Santa Clara?
Yeah, that's where it's right next to where T Swizzle's gonna have her show.
Well, make it a night of it.
Let's
Yeah, there we
go.
go.
Make it a
Mass Effect and
$4,300 night.
T-Swizzle. Yeah.
There we go. We're truly in our era's era. Folks, thank you for watching, listening, consuming the Giant Bombcast. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Lucy. And thank you, the fine folks at home. Hey, everyone, you get a 2 times multiplier for your podcast points. It expires at the end of the week, though, so use it wisely, which I don't think you have a choice as when to use it. And we'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast.
5-star WikiFeet rating.
That's right. 5-star WikiFeed rating and 5-star podcast ratings.
Yeah.